Welcome to the Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley, and we are gathered here for part 2 of the year that was 2003. Joining us for this jaunt down the timeline, of course,
Kyle Clark. I'm back here. I'm ready. I am like, again, 3 hours in, and I'm just like, oh, I'm glad we're just getting warmed up.
Hell yeah.
We've let the amateurs go, and we brought in the real talkers for the back end.
Oh, shit. Yeah. So it's been a couple of years ago, we actually tried to do both parts with a little break in the middle, and then people started sort of falling off.
Who were those poor people?
It was Brandy.
Okay,
God bless. She had shit to do. Brandy is a busy person, so nothing against her.
I remember her coming home that night and being like, I just podcasted forever.
yeah. So I'll poke.
Figured out we can't do it to other people, but we can do it to ourselves.
Yeah. See, Kyle and I are insane, so we just tag in more funny people, and then they're refreshed.
I don't think you realize how insane I am.
Well, this is why when I saw the list of who was going to be on this one, I saw the first one, I was like, oh, this is great because two of the greatest riffers I know are on the first one, so I can lean back for about 2/3 of that one.
Yep.
And then I've said this story many times. I was going to a gig, and Anna was playing with me in Arizona, and somebody riding with us was like, well, I've got a bunch of stuff. What are you guys planning to do for 6 hours? I was like, I figured we'd just talk.
Yeah.
Then
we got to Blythe, Arizona. And they were like, I didn't realize you were just actually going to talk. And I was like, we're just getting started.
Hell yeah. Say your name, by the way.
Oh, hello. My name is Anna Valenzuela.
Yeah, welcome back to Disgrace Land,
Andy
Anna.
Valenzuela.
Thank you.
Andy Valenzuela. Should I adopt a stage name? Should I start going by
Anya Valencia.
Oh, Anya Valencia is pretty.
That's actually is a dope name.
There we go.
Anya Valencia very much sounds like if you were going to have like somebody who's like trying to take you out and take your bit.
Oh, see, I was going to say it's the Russian spy that killed Trotsky in Mexico.
Oh shit.
Anya Valencia.
These two imaginary people are the same amount of hot in my mind.
Yeah,
Yay.
definitely.
It's the Valencia last name, I think.
It's a sexy last name.
I mean, it makes you think of Six Flags,
It's truly.
Oh, I just re-upped my Six Flags pass.
Oh, hey now.
Baby, they're back to giving them away for free.
Fuck yeah. So we have arrived at the second half, the back end, if you will, of the year 2003. Catch you up a little bit, Anna. The Iraq War has really kicked off, and it sucks, and it's all lies.
Mission
complete. Mission accomplished is already that happened May 1st.
Oh my god! It really wasn't accomplished till like what 06 is when we finally pulled out.
It was later than that. I think it was the end of 2011 officially. Yeah. So
killing Saddam, what a mic drop.
Oh, we might be meeting up with Saddam here in just a moment, but at any rate, we're going to dive in, starting with July 1st. Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpening found a company in San Carlos, California. They dream of a car manufacturer that is also a technology company.
Oh, shit.
And by February of 2004, the company had raised $7.5 million in funding, including $6.5 million from a guy named Elon Musk. So this is the beginning of Tesla.
You.
Now, notice how involved the genius, the real-life Tony Stark, is in the process of creating Tesla. He gave him a bunch of money.
He was like, here's some money for your good idea.
Yes.
And I'm just going to make it worse.
Yeah, 100%. So,
what do those guys think of the Tesla truck? Have they seen that yet?
Oh, I'm sure they are fine with their payouts they got, I'm sure, when Elon had them booted from the company.
No, nerds love hating on shit.
We
I'm
don't
sure
have
they don't
time
like
for
it.
this, but will someone explain to me why the Tesla truck? Like at a later time after the show?
Why? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why. Because
why?
I thought it was men.
It's a troll from a guy who only exists on the internet. So he got his child to draw a car and then was like, "Can I make it?"
Which one of the 10? Which one?
The truck.
The truck?
Yeah, the Cybertruck.
No, I meant the children.
Oh, yeah. Oh, who knows? Yeah, the one that's...
Yeah, my child is...
This is Beep Boop 1 2 3.
Beep, boop, boop.
Knocked up a transformer years ago.
Yeah.
That was the die-cast one.
July 2nd, we get the release of Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
Hey.
And we will be speaking at length about Arnold Schwarzenegger very soon.
Oh, shit.
So am I going to vote for the first time eventually?
So 4th of July, rest in peace, Barry White, the King of Soul, passed away on the 4th of July.
No one's been wet since.
Nope. Also,
Luther Vandross has been trying to do his part.
I think he died the next year, actually.
Then we were fucked.
Yeah.
We needed Mark Ronson to show up or something.
I think that's the last CD my mother bought was Luther Vandross' Dance with My Father in
But she
2004.
doesn't have Michael Bublé. I feel like that's
She's
a smoother woman than that.
No. What Bublé is the smoothest of all time. You got to read. Shout out to our friends in Virginia, the Apocalypse in Review podcast. I talked to them about Michael Bublé's Wikipedia article, which is one of the most insane things I've ever
Well, he
read.
parties like a motherfucker.
No, but more importantly, he wrote his Wikipedia article, and it's just a list of people who both believed in him and did not believe in him
Holy
in various
shit.
points.
That's awesome.
He's naming names. He's like Michael Jordan when he.
Well, I was just going to say, Jordan
Hall of
did.
Fame speech.
Yeah, it's the Hall of Fame speech. That same day, by the way, LA Lakers basketball star Kobe Bryant is arrested in Eagle, Colorado for sexual assault. Charges are eventually dismissed.
All right, I'd like all of you, if you're listening to this in the future and Murder Puss has been released, I would like you to all go to my most problematic woke joke. It will be the last track.
It's the last track.
It's the last track, and I want you to go and just listen to it because
It's topical for this.
I've got thoughts.
Oh yeah.
I just remember, I'm now remembering I was in summer school this summer. So I remember, that was like a news thing. I was in like a history class.
How old were you?
I was going into my junior year.
Bro, I had a year sober.
I know.
I was in community college. I'm
You
always
also
in
make
community
it
college.
sound like you're like 35 when you get sober.
I'm a time traveler. No, I was 21. I was 21. I had a boyfriend, and he had red hair and nipple rings, and that's what you need to know about that guy.
Was his name like John Paul?
Nah, it was
Blaze.
Kyle.
Was it
Kyle.
really?
Oh, it was Kyle.
Hell yeah.
All
it
right.
was a
My
Kyle.
future.
I don't. I was.
I dyed my hair red.
Hey, did you get a doctorate in anything?
Not yet. Remember, I'm waiting for one of them honorary doctorates at one day.
July 10th, 2003.
Yes.
And this is admittedly I try to pepper in little wrestling stuff
Okay.
here and there.
Yeah, give me
So
some wrestling.
This is interesting because for years there was a man named Jim Johnston who composed all of the entrance theme music for wrestlers. So when you are announced to the ring, they play music.
Shatter
People
Glass,
go, yeah, exactly. Most famously, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, The Ultimate Warrior.
Bells.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
one guy did all of
Yeah.
that, Jim Johnson.
Wow.
So this year, earlier in the year had released a CD of entrance music.
Okay.
So you could listen to that while you're at the gym and you feel like the Undertaker, right? But
Wait, what?
Into it.
oh yeah,
No.
Do you have it?
wrestling people listen to entrance music when they're working out.
Listen,
That's a thing. Yeah.
Listen, I have an anime playlist.
Yeah, so- it's the same
I get
concept.
It's the same concept. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, wait, hold on.
Oh yeah. So
do you have it?
Yes. So what they did, of course I have it. Who are you talking to? So they released that on
Okay.
CD. It's just the entrance themes. But Jim Johnson has a kind of a cool idea. He wants to create an album with wrestlers singing
Is this where
on
Self
it.
High Five comes from?
No, that's from 1997 or 8.
Okay.
That's Diamond Dallas Page.
No, the We Are the World of it all.
Yes, and this had been attempted in the past. There are other albums where wrestlers are singing, but it's usually a We Are the World style where they're all singing at once.
Okay.
This is individual tracks, what would become known as WWE originals. The fatal flaw of this record is that they allowed the wrestlers to choose their own genre, and Jim Johnson would go back into the creatorium and come out with something. And the song I wanted to focus on, we've talked about it on the podcast before, but it's fucking amazing. Are you aware of the wrestler Rikishi?
Yes.
Do you know Rikishi?
I'm excited to see where this is going. I believe I'm familiar with this
So,
jam.
for those listening, Rikishi is a Samoan guy whose gimmick was he had a large ass.
He's big.
And, yeah, he's big man,
Rotund.
huge ass.
Right,
and he
right.
would slam a guy into a corner, and then he would run, and at the last second turn around and smash his ass into the
Like
face.
It's pretty
Powdered
great.
Toast Man.
Yes, it's called the stink face. But the point is, this man is
Like
very
the Tool
much
song.
yes, he is very much associated with asses. His song on WWE Originals is, of course, the brilliant, beautiful R&B smooth soul classic. Put a little ass on it.
Yep. See, this is the thing I'm actually realizing I know from listening to the podcast.
Yes.
The Goods from the Woods.
Okay, hold on.
Oh yeah.
Got to keep control. Don't let go.
It's not the worst voice you would imagine.
No.
Oh, I'm into this.
Don't worry, baby.
Barry White died, and this is what rose.
Look, there are R&B songs from alternative rappers I like that are worse than this.
History repeats itself. First is tragedy, and then is farce. Barry White dies, and then you get this.
I know you're aching, baby.
You know what? It's not that much different than Michael McDonald.
Yeah, not really.
It's also a little Los Lobos-y.
Oh, yeah. Here- hey, wait, here we go. You got to hear the girls singing in the background.
Oh, listen, baby.
Okay, yeah, so
Okay, first off, the background vocals betray him because that's the background vocals of somebody who's just like, and I'm proud to be an American. It's
Yeah,
not like,
yeah.
put a little ass on it.
Right,
it should
right.
Be, it should be sexier.
To be fair,
but
they found every female employee the WWE
yes,
had
100%.
around that
Yeah.
ass on it.
Yeah, you shuffling papers, get in the studio.
Oh my God, I have leg day tomorrow, and that's what I'm going to sing.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to be like just squatting and be like, put a little
I mean, you
ass on
can't
it.
say that song doesn't have great intention.
Yeah, oh
Like,
yeah.
It's made with love.
It's
like
it's made with love, but also unless you know who Rikishi is and the fact that he uses his ass as a weapon, it's just really confusing.
I mean, is it that
I find
much
it to be a
different?
universal sentence.
Have you listened to Beyonce's Renaissance?
Renaissance, yes.
Have you listened to Renaissance?
I have, yes.
Okay, there's literally lyrics that are like, "Let me sit on you."
Yeah,
It's very put a little ass on it.
yeah.
I demand that for the listener.
Beyonce needs to acknowledge
Yeah.
Rikishi.
Yeah.
Mr. Fatu needs to
It's-
Is
be.
Rikishi still alive?
Oh yeah, Rikishi.
Let's do a crossover.
Not only is he
Beyonce,
still
if you're
alive, his sons
Oh,
are the
shit!
Usos, and they are
There's
former.
relevance here, y'all.
Yeah, they are the most decorated tag team champions in the history of
You could
WWE.
flip this
And
so
their
I'm-
cousin Umaga, the Samoan bulldozer. Yeah, So-
I'm literally gonna send you Beyonce songs later. I'm so sorry. I want you to. I feel like you. It's yeah.
July 14th, Rivers Langley turned 17 years old,
Nice.
and we have the CIA leak scandal.
For nearly 20 years, Valerie Plame worked under cover of darkness, serving her country as a covert CIA agent. But in 2003, that cover was blown by members of the Bush administration in retaliation for her husband, former Ambassador Joe Wilson's editorial that questioned the evidence of weapons of mass destruction used to justify the Iraq War.
So her husband, Joseph Wilson, published an op-ed in the New York Times stating that he doubts that Iraq had been buying uranium from Niger. He knows that because he went to Niger and was like, nah. And then talked about it in the press, and so they leaked his wife's name and blew her cover. Valerie Plame is her name.
The best thing about the Iraq War is that none of us believed there were WMDs in Iraq, right?
No.
Like we
No.
all. I didn't. I was like,
It was a
no.
war built around the premise of, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, is that the reason you're giving me? It's like it
Oh,
was
yeah.
literally like the government going, because I said so, that's why.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and
Oh,
like
yeah.
we all just were like, but no.
Yeah, because I definitely remember having arguments in high school with people. I actually
They
was
thought
in.
There were things. They
Well,
thought,
we were children. We were mostly
Well, oh, yeah.
morons.
I remember doing one of those. Yeah, we're defending freedom.
Yeah. No, I had a debate class.
Okay.
With
I was a debater too.
Yep, same.
And
Lincoln Douglas or
yeah. Oh, we did it all. Shout out to Miss
Ooh,
Jackson.
Yeah.
I was in that class with a couple of fellow lefty type people, and at a certain point, just agreeing with them got boring. So I just
Yeah.
decided to switch sides and
Yeah.
be the most arch insane conservative to kind of prove a fun point. And that went on for several months. And at the end of the class, Miss Jackson was like, "If you ever need any recommendation," like she was so like,
Jackson!
she knew what I was doing. She was like, "It was good. You did a good job." July 15th, AOL Time Warner kills Netscape Communications.
Oh,
So
They're
no.
the
Web 1.0.
That sweet night.
about to die. The Mozilla project launches the same day with its web browser Mozilla
Did you
Firebird.
guys have Mozilla?
Oh, I had
I was
Firebird.
Firebird. I have
Firefox was later. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Damn.
And also that same day, Queer Eye for the Straight Guy premieres on Bravo.
The show was big for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Speak on it.
Just Google pictures of Kyle Clark comedian and you'll get it.
Yeah.
You look like the after picture.
It's been a real journey because it was as a tall, largely straight in quotation marks boy. The concept of the metrosexual was a really, I can hide here for a while. Great. Tell me all about it. We get to look better. And it was around the time I was learning that collared shirts did not burn the skin when worn too long. And was starting to date girls and was really starting to make some connections between all these things. And so it was really it's funny because we had Kevin and Keith coming in here before, and it's strange for how many of us are California people who grew up in like red counties.
I was gonna say you were in a very red county, and I was in a reddish county at the time.
And Keith's in OC, and like
everybody in prison was
like,
Democrats, but
it's wild. But so it's interesting just the way it all kind of ties together.
Yeah. I mean, it's. Boys, I'm sorry. Fashion wise, you haven't been able to live your truth.
Look,
of the
but you ought to understand.
But you
that
get to also dominate everything.
It was also the perfect time period, though, because one of the massive things from that entire thing was also with like emo and indie rock becoming a fashionable thing you could do. That's when I started wearing girl pants. 2003 is when I started wearing girl pants.
Oh, boy.
I initially wanted like
you a big boy. Where you finding girl pants? Were you going to
Amazon
Let me tell you
outlet?
about a little place called the Camarillo Outlets, girl. That fucking Old Navy store is my best friend. I got a coffee cup there. You walk in, it's like, well, let me buy my year's worth of jeans, which is how long they will last, and then I will buy the exact same setup again. Give me 3
Old
dark
Navy.
washes and a black.
That's actually when Old Navy was a decent product.
I still wear them.
Yeah.
This is the rare moment where something I'm wearing is not Old Navy, but I'm still pretty.
Bonobos?
This is actually all Target.
Ooh, Target.
This is Target shorts. This is Target shirt. So that was like, there's like other dudes who do this too. Like nobody has to start asking questions. We can just sort of do some experimenting in plain sight.
Yeah.
And that was all those. I remember like the girl I dated my senior year. Somebody questioning something about it, and her turning to some guy who was questioning something that I was doing that she was trying to really push his agenda on. It's like, he's Metro now. And I was like, I don't know what that means, but I'm thrilled. Like,
why? Well,
there wasn't
even in 2003. Are we still doing
the
this?
level.
Get it
You've got
together.
to remember
Yes.
the sheer unadulterated volume of acceptable homophobia on a constant living moment in the 2000s.
Oh yeah.
So that's there's so much of my life that I try to sort of explain where it's like, you don't understand. I'm already expending like a good 50% of my brain at any given time just trying to not be like a problem to people I have to be around.
Right. I just rewatched The Misfits, which didn't even come out that early in the aughts, but it was like a mid-aughts situation, and there is the level of homophobia in that show. I was like, whoa, this didn't age well at all.
Yeah, a member of Destiny's Child calls Freddy Krueger the F homophobic slur.
I will argue this though. Well, I disagree that she should have used it. I don't like that the example we always use is defending Freddy Krueger. I keep politically pointing out we need to stop defending and supporting.
You mean that pedophile?
I know a lot of people can call that slur. The one that I want to use though is Freddy Krueger.
It is
He's
just
totally not, bro.
It is just a moment that just comes out of nowhere, and you're just like, whoa.
I would say, hold on, wait. I think if a pedophile is pedophiling and scaring children in their sleep and then like murdering people, can you call them one slur?
I guess so.
This is also, I dip in lightly into comedy territory, but like I have the whole thing about how Freddy
But the
Krueger.
woke media.
Well, Freddy Krueger is not funny, and if we heard a non-child murderer make those jokes, we would not laugh.
We would not laugh. That is true. It's true.
And also, people love to really insist sometimes that Freddy Krueger only murdered those children, that he didn't molest them, as if that somehow like makes him more fun.
As a child, I was the most afraid of Freddy Krueger coming out of my closet and killing me for some reason.
Yeah.
I really believed that he was in my closet. And you know what? As an adult, I went and watched Nightmare on Elm Street, and I went and at 15 minutes in the movie, when they're in the alleyway and his little arms are expanding, I just started cackling. I can't believe I was afraid of this shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was just, I just caught a glimpse of it too young at the wrong time and was riddled with fear.
Yeah, at a certain point you realize like, oh, they're all like this. They're all pretty stupid.
Yeah, it's pretty.
But truly, like
dumb.
like the sheer casual homophobia is like jaw dropping in so much.
Oh,
of this stuff.
yeah. It's,
July 18th, this is big for me.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, we're ready.
Bad Boys 2 is released.
Wow.
Here in the year of our Lord, where we've received Bad Boys 4.
Yeah, that's right, which I saw. And
Was it good?
Define your definition of good. For me, yeah, it was rad. My favorite thing was, I'll do this in as non-spoiler way as I can.
Trust me, the trailer, if you watch the trailer, every part of the movie is in the trailer.
That's true.
Like every funny moment, everything, you're not going to miss anything.
Well, so my friend texted me. He was like, I just saw it. I was like, how was it? And he just wrote 2 words. Just said, inside airplane. And I was like,
Inside
I was
airplane.
like, okay. So I watched the movie.
Okay.
Now there's a scene where they go to a bar, and inside this bar is an Airstream trailer inside. And I thought that he had typoed and written Airstream but it came out airplane.
Okay.
So I was just like, oh, that's kind of funny. There's an Airstream in this bar.
Okay.
And then the inside airplane shows up, and I was like, yo!
What?
So yeah,
All right.
it's fine. Bad Boys 2. I talked about this at length with Nick Thomas on Patreon episode number 77. So I won't go into it that much, but I think that just in the last 10 years, the funniest thing that is also something I deeply believe in that has happened in media is when they put Armageddon in the Criterion
Yes.
collection, because it both infuriated nerds,
We're so old.
but also set off a discussion about
the vulgar auteur.
Michael Bay being the vulgar auteur, and Bad Boys 2 has every
It's the
Bay
thesis.
thing you want. It's disgusting. It's action packed. The camera's moving way too fucking much. Everything's tinged green. It's unappealing, but like visually. But then there's something
something
kind of charming about it.
to it. Yeah. Well, I mean, the stars themselves were the peak of their charm and,
hell
and
yeah.
love. And so it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
now it's weird because you're like, you guys are, go home, get a hobby, pet your grandkids. I don't know, like figure something out. But yeah, it is. Did they have a song that came out with this one
Yes.
too?
Okay.
This is a good song.
This is a great song. Yeah. Nelly, Diddy, Murphy Lee. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Pedophiling or sex trafficking happening in the background.
Hell yeah. But
Well,
yeah.
at least we know what he was doing when he wasn't practicing rapping.
Yeah. But yeah, there
I've been
is.
waiting on that joke for like 2 weeks to be on a podcast to set up for it.
Yay!
But there is a scene where Will Smith and Martin Lawrence invade Cuba.
Yes.
And,
That is that one. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And they drive a yellow Hummer down through a favela on the way down and displace thousands of people with one simple explanation, which is Will Smith, they're driving over people's homes, and Will Smith goes, these are drug dealers' houses.
Well-
I'm like, there's laundry hanging on the lines. No, it's not.
When did the Fast movies come out?
Oh,
2002,
so
the
the
first one
first
popped out.
one is 2001,
Oh, 2001.
and then
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Too Fast, Too Furious came
Too
out
Fast,
earlier
Too
this
Furious
year.
comes out in 2003, and then we're off to the races.
I'm just saying that gives me a big Fast movie energy. But
Oh, yeah.
I think it would have been funnier because there was a funny person. There were two
Yeah.
funny people.
Well, and
in
also
it.
Fast and Furious, as over the top and great as it is, they don't have the balls to have a scene where they're driving a truck full of corpses and the corpses are falling out onto the freeway and then a boat explodes
All right.
on the road.
Pitch session. A zany comedy set in COVID New York.
Yeah, there we go.
I broke Kyle. All right. Continue.
July 22nd, speaking of frozen bodies, Uday and Qusay Hussein, sons of Saddam Hussein, are killed by the United States military in Iraq after they got tipped off by the government.
Sorry.
Well, no, here's the thing. The invasion of Iraq does not justify killing a couple of shitty guys. These are the shittiest guys of all time. I will say that.
What was the HBO show about the invasion of Iraq?
Generation Kill.
Yes, we did get Alexander Skarsgård running around with his shirt off before anybody knew his name.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey.
And a certain LA open
LA,
micer who's
yeah.
out of his mind.
Oh shit! I forgot he was in that.
Oh, yeah.
They're based
Still
on it.
around? Wow.
Yeah.
It's based on him.
One of the guys.
One of the
Shut
guys
the
is.
the shitty guy in the van. The guy won't shut the fuck up.
How'd you figure out which one it would
yeah.
be?
Because it immediately flashed into my head.
Every time I've ever brought that up, which is one of my favorite pieces of trivia, and it is truly one of those things where no one has ever guessed wrong.
Yeah, because there's only one. There's only one character you want to punch in the face the entire movie.
So I was reading one report about the death of Uday and Qusay, and they said that there was a bunch of reporters outside of one of their mansion, and as soon as it came down that they were killed, the reporters stormed their mansion and stole all their shit because they were such shitheads to journalists specifically. And and then
I like that for them.
And then I was reading some other thing where one of them had a lion in their backyard that got loose in Baghdad.
You got to be careful
And
about your lions.
So speaking of movie ideas, there's all these reports of like, we don't know where this lion is. There's just a lion loose.
There's a wild animal sanctuary near where I live, and it has some crazy animals. There's like an animal hospital up there. But when I was in, I think it would have been 2004, they had a 13-foot foot-long albino king cobra that
No,
escaped.
thank you.
Oh, wow.
And I've never been more like, we got to find this thing fucking
Absolutely
right goddamn now.
not. That's also a great movie idea. Just a bunch of kids out in Simi Valley trying to find a fucking albino cobra. Get the fuck out of here.
Did you all ever have to read the book Summer of the Monkeys?
I did.
Yeah.
When they get all drunk and Dave Matthews is in the movie.
Well, I never actually. Wait, you're thinking is he in Summer of the Monkeys?
is
I
in
know
Summer of
he's
the
in
Monkeys.
Because of Winn-Dixie.
He's also in Summer of the Monkeys.
He was doing YA shit all the time. At
Yeah,
some
we read
point.
Summer of the Monkeys.
Yeah, so it's about a circus train that crashes in the middle of the country and a bunch
Right.
of monkeys escape, and he gets paid by the circus to catch monkeys all summer.
Because he wants a 22 and a pony.
Yeah.
Call the Rock and have him be in this. I feel like this is a Rock adventure.
Yeah, he's the little kid just running around the woods.
Yeah.
July 23rd. This is a big one. Reno 911 premieres on Comedy Central. Yeah.
Put
This
on-
is like the last like golden year of Comedy Central
Oh,
before
yeah.
the descent began.
They're fucking
Yeah,
killing
Chappelle's
it.
show was beginning of the year.
Yeah, beginning of the
Yeah,
year
okay.
with Chappelle. Now we got Reno 911.
God, both are so good.
Fuck
And
yeah. And they used to run them all the
all
time.
the time. But you never got tired of it.
No, I could watch
You never got tired of the the DUI footage.
which has
Like-
been repurposed and stripped of its context. So
Yes.
now you see it where it's like crazy traffic stop. The blonde woman, Wendy, what's her face, is dancing with the redneck guy.
Oh yeah.
That one's been
great.
repurposed into memedom. So
No,
like
they think it's
kids,
real?
they think it's real. They're like, look at the moves on this redneck guy, and you're like, yeah, man, he's doing like a
He's-
Fosse. That's not
Yeah.
common.
It's-
That's from a television program from
Holy.
the olden days.
Also, her hair is not regulation. You know.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know, when
yeah.
when you see a lady cop, she has that low bun. You know, she's got that thing greased to the back of her head.
Yeah, and shout out Niecy Nash. Talk about riding a very small cable program to like she's hosting like all this Home and Garden Network shit now. Like she's everywhere.
She's an American treasure.
Hell yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah, so
Killing
that show, I feel like it was on every day after school.
Yes.
When I came home,
Oh,
like it was
so
just
good.
on constantly, and I loved it. July 27th, Bob Hope dies at 100, and on August 1st, we get the release, and this is just another.
Here we go.
He's hitting, he's tumbling down the mountain already. Just hit his head on Daredevil, and now here it comes again. Geely is
Oh.
released.
Oh, this is when we all hated Ben Affleck so much.
So this is what.
So much we hated him so
Daredevil
much.
was earlier.
Yeah,
this
so
year.
we kind of talked about this. Ben Affleck was on a high perch, and then Daredevil happens, and then he starts kind of tumbling down the mountain. J-Lo's breaking up with him, just boom, boom, boom.
Geely.
Oh, this is
And-
before he got that bad back tattoo. Ooh, if
Yeah.
you're ever having a bad day, that's what I Google.
And this is like the headshot for the end of the year. Like
Yeah.
Geely comes out, and people are, and I, I always say if a movie is good, it feels like magic. And if a movie is bad, that's where you can actually learn something. I don't think you can learn that much from an amazing film.
What are you, one of my film teachers? She used to have us like watch bad pilots every once in a
think
while.
you learn
You learn so much
so
from
much.
I, Simon, the worst pilot I've ever watched.
But I rented Geely on VHS, I want to say, when we were in high school, because we heard
Did you rent it from Hollywood Video?
it was Premiere Video in Auburn, Alabama, and we had heard that it was the worst movie ever made, and so we're like, well, and this
Is it worse than
I-
Ishtar?
It's
Isn't Ishtar
shocking.
something-
to be fair, Ishtar's also not bad.
Yeah, so
I just probably think Ishtar's
So-
really bad because it was
So
it
Ishtar
was
was directed
punchline.
by a lady, and so it's the worst movie ever made. And because the
Oh,
lady
'cause
got
of a
really
woman.
ambitious with the movie, so they needed to make sure that we never let that happen again.
Yeah.
Fun fact about this was directed by Martin Brest,
Martin
who
Brest.
also did Midnight Run and Beverly Hills Cop.
yep, and
Should've been so
and
good.
has a fucking Oscar for Son of a Woman.
Yes.
It should have
Yeah.
been so good. Well, here's the thing. Like, I think, okay, I'll say it. Ben Affleck should never have been a leading man. He would be the most famous fucking actor as the supporting actor forever.
right.
He's not meant to be in charge.
That's how I feel about Brad Pitt too.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
Brad
agree.
Pitt,
Brad Pitt and
has
I
gone into it at this point.
Well, I've said this on the show. The reason I love Margot Robbie so much is that I think she is our generation's Brad Pitt because she is a leading woman, but inside she thinks she's Steve Buscemi
Yeah.
and just takes weird ass roles.
Yeah.
And Brad Pitt did the same shit. Like he has his leading man moments, but those are kind of whatever.
He's so hot.
and
yeah.
then he's in Burn After Reading, and you're like, this is genius.
You're like, this is where he should be. Actually,
Yeah.
And Margot Robbie does the same shit.
Oh, I mean, but
Shout
I
out
think
to all
she,
my Babylon heads.
Fuck yeah. Speaking of our Patreon, we
movie's
talked
a
about that. We
straight-up
also
masterpiece.
talked about Geely on episode 76 with our friend Blake
Geely.
Hamilton. Yeah.
So
'cause-
Geely isn't bad.
No, it's terrible, but you're watching it and you're just like, it's my favorite kind of bad, which is sometimes, we have our Discord, and shout out to the friends listening on the Discord. You can join now, linktree.com/thegoodspod. But we have friends on the Discord that will recommend movies for me to watch and talk about. And I always say, like, I'll watch a bad movie that doesn't have anybody in it. My favorite thing is a bad movie that's full of stars, full of people that have teams that should have told them fucking no. And Geely, Ben Affleck should have had someone tell him no. J-Lo, fucking Al Pacino is in that.
Al Pacino's in it?
Christopher Walken is in it.
Wow.
It is star-studded.
It's a star-studded movie.
Have you guys, for the Patreon, done Moonfall yet?
I actually did. Shout out to our friend of the show, Lexa White. I did their show, and I talked about Moonfall on their show.
I fucking love that movie.
Oh, it's so bad. I loved it.
That is all just people running from the moon.
The moon, yeah. When it like shows up. Yeah.
It's so good.
And it does the thing that Cats did too, where you're never sure how big the moon is going to be. So sometimes the moon is really big.
It's really big.
And then other times they open a door and it's just kind of looking at them. And they're like, oh no.
In Denver, it should have been, and they do go to Denver, it should have just been on them. It should have been resting on their foreheads. Anyway, okay, so I'll give Geely a try.
You should at least watch it because your mouth will just hang open at it because you're just like, I can't, like, for instance, I have memorized Christopher Walken's brief line of dialogue from Geely. He is an investigator. He shows up at the home of Ben Affleck.
Okay.
Ben Affleck has kidnapped a child for ransom.
Okay.
And so he shows up at the house and they have a pretty typical cop conversation. Like, have you seen this boy? No? Okay. Christopher Walken's going to leave. As he leaves, he stops. He turns around. He goes, hey, you know what I'd like to do right now? Pie.
Some ice cream on it. Good. Put some on your head.
Put it on your head.
Your tongue would slap your brains out trying to get to it.
Interested? Sure. And then he leaves. You never see Christopher Walken again.
Wait, what? Did he ad-lib that?
I don't know.
In the written script? Somebody provide us with the Geely script.
A person who has an Oscar wrote those lines, theoretically.
Martin Brest likes to shoot a lot of takes of stuff.
Yeah.
And wait and get weird stuff in that kind of Kubrick-Finchery kind of
okay.
That feels like
that must be it
sort
then.
of what it is.
But I'm in high school. I don't know who the fuck any of these people are. I'm just watching a weird ass movie with people I recognize from the TV, just being like, "What the fuck? This is wild."
That is a crazy line. I'm obsessed, and it also does sound like something you'd hear in a dementia ward.
I mean, I would always like to get some pie with some ice cream on it, but not. I'll keep it off my head.
Okay, this is terrible because it's going to sound political, but like, hear me out. What if somebody dubbed those lines over Joe Biden speaking?
Put some on your head. Your tongue would slap your brains out trying to get to it. Interested? Sure.
So the exact same day, Geely comes out. Also, MySpace is launched. August 1st.
Those were the good old days.
Can I tell you I was a late adopter to MySpace?
Oh,
I didn't have a cell phone until like 05.
I was a parody adopter to MySpace. I didn't have one during the actual run, but then the joke at my high school was MySpace is for goths. And so I made my own gothic MySpace page where I like I had a black and white picture of me like putting my face on my hands and like a whole thing. Yeah, and I made like dark poetry.
Rivers of blood.
Yeah, straight up.
The problem is I actually put poetry on my
see.
You put your poetry on it?
Yeah.
That's, I think, why no social media has ever appealed to me ever again, because I was the right age, the right type of fucking dorky music lame to like be perfect for it.
It was the right mix of a live journal and like a little bit of a chat room, I guess.
Yeah.
Because your top 8 was important.
Yeah. And especially once you could customize and change those out and shit like that. So everybody's number one wasn't Spicoli. So that's the thing that will always be unique with me to MySpace is I had learned goddamn HTML to build like work on a website for my band that then broke up right as I was getting on MySpace. And like MySpace was everything I'd had to manually do for a band website, you just now had on one page that you could send people to.
Good.
And I was so fucking mad. But also, like, I remember, like, that the early being on because I had been on Friendster briefly because a girl I thought was cute that I met at a comic book store had told me to sign up for Friendster.
I have friends that met on Friendster and got married.
Yeah.
Wow.
Friendster marriage. They have
Holy
2
shit.
kids. They live their best lives.
Tinder? No, Friendster.
No, it was friend. And
Right?
Then, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm jumping over to MySpace." And I'm like, "Well, you are the only girl I've ever met who likes Fugazi, so I'm going to this MySpace thing."
The only. Meanwhile, I'm just like, I'm all alone.
I mean, it's also like I think I was like 17. I think she was like working at the comic, so it was like a 22-year-old girl. I'm just like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?"
I'm just imagining Scott Pilgrim, but
You're-
tall.
I remind
imagining
I
tall.
remind you that was how I shorthand my high school. It was
I've
largely Scott
actually
Pilgrim-y.
seen one of your a sketch you and Jared were both in set at
Oh,
a comic
God.
book store. We
That's
have
right.
watched it a couple of times together without you. I'm so
yes.
sorry.
Oh.
Oh, my hair's
But that's-
really
I-
long in that thing.
Yeah, I actually have a visual of you at this time.
Yeah.
Well, that same day, Nelly releases Pimp Juice, his energy drink. He sold.
Did you ever have a pimp juice?
Yeah.
No, do we have a
No,
here?
they quit making
That's
it. I
disappointing.
tried. So they sold over 1 million cans in the first 3 months. This is
Okay.
also the year Nelly introduced apple bottom jeans.
Apple
The ones with
Yeah.
the boots and the fur?
Yes.
Boots and the fur.
So that brand's last ad campaign was in 2010 and featured Nelly on March 7th. 2020, Nelly hinted at a comeback from the brand via Instagram. I'm not sure what else happened in March of 2020 that sort of diminished the impact of the return of apple bottom
It sometimes
jeans.
feels as if truly, like it was going to be a personal slate. Everything I like was about to come back in 2020, and
The
then COVID
COVID.
got rid of
he
it.
was
Yeah.
about to bring the jeans made for Der Kleur
For going
back.
out,
Yeah.
when
And then
no one on earth could go out.
I bet they only sold sweatpants.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was it. Apple bottom sweatpants. Oh my God, poor Nelly.
Yeah. So August 5th, huge day for me. This is the day that Ween releases Quebec, which is one of my favorite albums of the entire decade.
I'm imagining men in
my
Wilco
madness.
shirts with the hardest nipples at that sentence, just like, oh, they Quebec. And just-
No, Wilco and Ween, I'm the only crossover between those two
That's
bands.
true.
Yeah.
I will say this: I am working with a Gen Z gal, and her favorite band is Ween.
Fuck yeah.
Cooler than all of us already. It's wild.
I know they're so cool.
Constantly trying to get her approval.
So that same day we get
Too honest, Anna.
No, I appreciate.
I'm melting.
the OC premieres on Fox on a
Phantom
August day as well.
I don't know if I ever hated anything at the time of its release more than the OC as a young man in
Yeah.
California who liked anything besides mainstream bullshit.
Okay.
And then when they would try to go, well, it talks about comics. I'm like, it's making comic books shittier, guys.
Oh, you mean that? Okay, hold
The
on.
show.
The movie.
No, the television
show.
program. You're thinking of Orange County.
Not the Mike White movie. The fucking Seth,
The
and his
OC.
dad, and it's the
Oh, yeah.
shooting. Oh, what you say,
Misha,
fucking
what's her
Rooney.
name? Yeah.
By this time, I
You're-
because
yeah.
again, I had just gotten clean.
You're
so
an adult,
I was,
not on drugs. There's no reason for you to watch this
I
show.
would not watch a show. I did not watch a show. I did, however, watch. There's a lot of good anime that came out
Yes.
during this time, and I watched all of that. And
So-
I was watching Battlestar Galactica.
Yes,
and
which was
making out
started.
with
Well,
guys,
that's a little
making out
later.
with my recovery boyfriend.
This
That's what I
was
doing.
truly like this hit my fucking high school.
Nipple rings
like
going
an
jingle, jingle,
Adam
jingle.
Jingle, jingle.
goddamn
Fucking
bomb.
Joy Division playing in the background.
So the OC, in my limited viewing of it,
That was the theme song of that.
Yeah.
What a somber theme.
California.
song.
Motherfucking
just
drummer on that
suburban
song is what's his
Jason
face?
Schwartzman,
Jason Schwartzman.
who would go on to have his own little band called Coconut Records
Records.
that I enjoy a
They're
lot.
cute.
So the OC, in the limited amount of time that I spent watching it, definitely seems like the spiritual successor to Dawson's Creek
1000%.
in that it is Harvard-ass Harvard guys
Yes.
putting words in the mouths of teenagers, and it is fucking hilarious.
Yes, they're-
So it was scripted.
yes.
Yeah, you're thinking. Are you thinking of Laguna Beach?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even think I watched the OC.
Yeah.
I
Was
think I
Peter
was like,
Gallagher was the
This was the
dad.
biggest show in the country at the
this
time.
was the last year I went into fully went
The
into a
amount
mosh
of-
pit because I came out with a fucking bloody
Yeah, the
nose.
amount of not within this reach. You are underground at this point.
I was going to international noise conspiracy shows.
Yeah, that is not the same art market.
Okay. Yeah, no, I did not.
This is like
I didn't know it was scripted. I
This
thought
is
it
like-
was. I thought in my mind it was a reality show.
this is like if you're hyped to go to Warped Tour every summer and like that's the highlight of your summer. The OC is the show you're watching.
So,
and
two-
getting hyped for it.
Two things happen with reality TV in the wake of this show
Okay.
and in the wake of Desperate Housewives. So Desperate Housewives comes out.
that I remember.
So that's the year before. That's on ABC, or it might be the year after. But the point is, around the same time, Desperate Housewives comes out,
That's when we all found out our moms were horny.
Oh, yeah. And they decided that they needed to have a reality-based spinoff. And that is when we get the Real Housewives of Orange County. So that very much starts off as a kind of like, what are these women actually like? So there's that. And then as far as the OC goes, their kind of reality spinoff was called Laguna Beach on MTV.
Which I
with Elsie Conrad.
remember, but I have to tell you, in my now dementia brain, I have to tell you, my menopausal brain has now decided that those were the same shows.
Right.
They completely folded into each other.
This is the last golden age of apex white people.
Yes.
Being
Oh,
like
yeah.
the king of TV Mountain. Right after this,
Yep.
like, we might have to kill all
Well,
these.
this is their version of a 90210, right? That's what
Oh,
they're trying
very
to
much
do?
so.
Yes.
Very much so.
It's absolute. It's the spiritual successor.
Well,
It's like
actually-
it's Dawson's Creek or 90210 Dawson's Creek OC.
So somebody brought up the point that it's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for white people because the main character's from a rough and tumble neighborhood, and then he moves to Orange County.
Where's
Like,
he-
That's right.
I'm going to blow everyone's mind, but there are rough and tumble neighborhoods in Orange County. They
For
should have
sure.
just grabbed him from Anaheim, but then they would have to cast a brown person.
right? Exactly.
We can't do
We
that.
can't do that. He's got to be from fucking Boston or whatever.
From Boston.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a Boston Red Sox game at Angel Stadium?
No.
I have.
Yeah.
What are all of you Bostonian people doing in Southern California? Because they come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, hell
They're
yeah.
throwing shit on the field. They're bringing angry Boston energy. They're segregating the seats. It's fucked up. It's just
Yeah.
fucked up when you guys come out to the ballpark.
I imagine it's all like Russian sleeper agents, where like once they show up, they can drop their like fake persona and drop into the Boston voice.
Nah, it's all
Oh,
these fucking
yeah.
Harvard people that come out here to write
real.
television.
We came to write TV.
We're writing fucking TV over here.
Nobody from the state's allowed to do it. We got to do it.
Yeah.
You saw Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah, why are you acting weird?
Okay. sorry.
August
Boston people.
Here we go.
Jeff May mostly.
August 11th, 2003. Look, women have had it too good for too long with TV. We need TV for men. And that is why on August 11th they launched Spike TV, TV for motherfucking men.
You know we're building the first network for men. We asked you to go to the new TNN.com and tell us what you wanted to see. Your response? 6,000 emails a day. Keep them coming. America's first network for men. Help us build it.
Oh my God. I remember
you remember Spike
that.
TV?
I do, because this is also the G4 era. They were always next to each other on the
Yes.
cable dial.
Yeah.
So it's like the G4 era. You've
Well,
got.
and one ran Ninja Warrior and one ran Most Extreme Elimination
Yes,
Challenge. And
yes,
so it's
indeed.
easy to confuse
and it
the
was
two.
old Ninja Warrior, right?
It was OG, yeah. There wasn't new Ninja Warrior yet.
Yeah.
Old Ninja
yeah.
Warrior's the best goddamn show that has ever existed.
Yeah.
It was so that and old Iron Chef. God damn it.
So, for context, there used to be a channel called the Nashville Network, and they showed the Grand Ole Opry and
remember
reruns of Andy Griffith, shit like that.
Yeah.
That became known as TNN, sort of like KFC. They took the actual name out of the,
I
the meaning.
realize now I didn't know that that's what TNN stood for. I just
Yeah.
knew it as TNN.
So it was Nashville Network, TNN, and then in 2003 it became Spike TV. Some of the original programming, quote unquote original, one of them, and this is probably the one that I watched the most, was Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, which is a repurpose of footage from a Japanese game show called Takeshi's Castle, which originally aired in Japan from 1986 to 1990. So I didn't know this. When I found this out, I was like, oh, everything makes so much more sense.
It's a lot of like running up Sophie stairs.
Yeah.
Like real fucked up.
Wearing
Yeah.
silly costume.
Yeah, wearing silly costume.
getting
yeah.
clearly injured, and then they just cut away from
wrecked.
it. Yeah, like
wrecked. Like little old ladies were never the same, that kind of thing.
yeah. Other programming, we got a lot of animation because dudes, we love fucking cartoons, bro. They have
Look, as somebody with a Maxim subscription at this time, I felt like I was within a demographic.
Oh my God.
I was the
image that
queen of
flashed through
magazines
my-
at this point in school. I was like
you
Wizard,
have Spin? Did you have
Wizard,
Spin?
Toy Fair, Maxim, Spin,
Yeah.
EGM, which was a video game one.
Okay.
Did you not have Rolling Stone?
No,
my
I was
man?
a Spin guy. Rolling Stone could suck my dick.
No,
Yeah.
they got the journalism, man.
Yeah, Spin was Rolling Stone for people who
Spin was-
listen to trip hop.
It was my tabloid.
Yeah, but where
I
do you-
would follow Morrissey. I followed the fucking Libertines like it was goddamn.
Yeah.
Like
How are we
Princess
supposed
Di.
to know what Tricky's doing?
See, I was going to ask, how are you supposed to know how Howard Dean's campaign is progressing?
It's I felt like the entire every time I look at Rolling Stone, it was like I think the Eagles are doing stuff again.
Rolling Stone was then and still is, by the way, because Vice is dead, and all of the good, reporting places. Rolling Stone's
Back to being a
politics
pretty good
and
reporting.
interviews, all that stuff.
Oh, and
that's where it's
infiltrating
at.
cults.
Yeah.
Because they show up on cult documentaries
Hell yeah.
sometimes.
So, other programming included Gary the Rat, starring Kelsey Grammer as a man-sized rat lawyer.
I remember this,
For
and
men!
I liked this. I liked this.
Don't you love it, men?
I love this.
Sideshow Bob's a rat now, and he's a lawyer. Aren't you fucking happy, men? Next up, and this, even at the
You
time,
guys just needed Dove soap for men. That's all you needed.
well, not just you can't just have the soap. You got to have the soap, body wash, shampoo combo, so you only have to have one bottle.
I don't
That was
care
crucial for men.
what it
insane
takes.
to me.
Well,
That was
I don't
crucial
care what
for
it
men.
takes for men to use moisturizer and sunscreen, but for the love of shit, I don't care if they have to slap a fucking pair of nuts on everything.
But it feels
Just-
greasy.
It feels good. No, it's good.
It feels greasy.
It feels.
I don't like it. Yeah.
Let nature take.
I just like- I like being
Let
dry.
Those of us
I don't-
who
I don't need-
moisturize age gracefully.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let the rest perish.
Look,
Anna.
I want Busey face now. Okay, so yeah, I got Gary the Rat, and then even as a child, this baffled me. They brought back Ren and Stimpy, but it was called Ren and Stimpy's Adult Party Cartoon.
It's been about 10 years since we made the last Ren and Stimpy, so we dug up some of the old stories that never did get produced.
You always give your house a goodbye kicking its ball sack when you move.
We started thinking up new ideas. Within a week and a half, we realized the new ideas were a lot funnier than the old ones. A lot of the censorship issues that we had to worry about when we were doing kids programming were pretty much gone. Ren is still an asshole, Stimpy's still retarded. The premise and the personalities are set up that you can do almost any type of story. I'm happy if I spend the rest of my life doing Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy Adult Party Cartoon coming to the new TNN.
And it is considered one of the biggest failures
People do
ever.
hate it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because those Ren and Stimpy are now gay lovers.
Right.
And it's just like weird bullshit. Like it's sort of like what if like Henry and Glenn Forever is horrible?
Yes.
You guys watched Happy Happy Joy Joy at the documentary?
I have not yet. It's on the to-do list.
It is.
Do they talk about this period?
Yeah, it's if you haven't gotten to first off, if you've watched Quiet on Set and not Happy Happy Joy Joy, you forgot the summer reading before heading to the first day of class.
Oh,
like
shit.
It is that man is unfucking hinged.
Uh-huh.
He is
Oh, yeah.
upset. He's not okay.
No,
he's not
he's
okay to
not.
work for. He's not okay to be around. He made one of my favorite cartoon things of all time, and also is a creepy, full-on open pedophile at this point. He has like a 15-year-old girl living with him at this point.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Yeah. It's real bad. And then he comes out with this show, kind of like a fuck you to everybody, and it's also not as good. It's not as good.
No, it's terrible.
It's
Yeah.
not, because that was the great part about Ren and Stimpy is it was unhinged and for adults, but somehow marketed for kids.
Here's my thing. I am about as like Nickelodeon animation pilled as you can be for this kind of stuff. And one of my sort of quiet but very intense opinion has always been that was not like it was a severely overrated show from that era, because I think like every other show like has like stood the test of time a little greater, has had a little bit more like interesting and substance when you go back and look at them, or like interesting things. And also, the show Rocko's Modern Life is, without question, in every single way, except for like preposterous animation masturbatory reasons, a better, edgier show.
Oh,
with
hell yeah.
more to
Yeah,
say.
it's weirder.
And it's weirder, and it never gets the credit for being subversive, despite it being a quality product, instead of like kind of a weird shock value show that, while artistically is great, is kind of eating the credit of a lot of other really great shows from the time.
I'm gonna make a bunch of people really mad, but in the context of the Nickelodeon progression, you have The Sopranos, which is Ren and Stimpy, and Rocco is The Wire.
Okay.
Oh, dog, there's so
But
many
I'll-
layers. We don't
Yeah,
even have time to
I know.
get the amount of conversation that has to go into this.
We just have
I was worried you
another
were like,
podcast.
not to stir the shit, the pot or anything, but fuck cat dog.
Yeah. No, Cat Dog sucks. Cat Dog sucks.
Cat Dog's not as fun. Cat Dog's not as fun.
Cat fine dog has said some things on
But
podcasts.
can we do a gritty, sexy reboot of All Real Monsters?
Oh, I think about Anna Valenzuela. If you don't think that's one of my little blank check fucking lists that if I ever get to do a thing would not be Are you fucking kidding me?
I want to be the king.
Yeah, like, yeah.
I
I
want
was
to be
gonna
the
say-
lipstick king.
Don't take this wrong. Crumb, man. You're Crumb.
Oh,
yeah.
1,000%.
You
Like,
got to be Crumb.
This is like, like Spike Jones does Where the Wild Things Are. That's my version of that.
Yeah.
I wanna
Oh,
make
hell
an
yeah.
insane thing where it is like half costumes, half weird CGI track, and make it all real monsters. Like that's
Yeah.
just there's too much there.
It's really good. But
well,
yeah, so
well,
watch
we-
that documentary. It's upsetting. And then when they get to this part, it's like, this is the decline. This is the Shakespearean decline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember watching this and being very hyped because I loved Ren and Stimpy. And we were at my friend Jack Carey's house and we all sat down
Yep.
to enjoy this adult party cartoon. And
On
I
Man
don't
TV.
on Man TV, and I don't think we made it through it.
I didn't either.
I
It
think we were
sucked
just like, this
so
sucks
hard.
so much ass. We were just like, no, this sucks.
With all the excitement for anybody who hasn't seen it, but if you do like Cowboy Bebop and then watched the live action,
That's not an inaccurate.
It's the
thing to
exact same
compare.
feeling. It was the exact same feeling. We were like, oh, I wanted to like it so much, and I hate
Well,
it.
and you look at it and go like, well, all the pieces are here, but there doesn't seem to be some sort of soul that seems to tie things together.
Yeah, it's like that what Miyazaki calls CG animation. It's soulless.
Yeah.
There's just an uncanny valley to it.
Well, this has lots of cans in its valley. This is Stan Lee's Stripperella, starring Pamela Anderson.
I remember this.
This
Yeah,
is the era
so that's
where
the other-
my anti-Stan Lee sentiments really begin. But I don't realize, I didn't realize it's all the way back to 2003. So I had
Wasn't she barbed wire in the movie by now?
Barbed Wire is
that's
like
95.
95,
This is way past
96,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
Stacked has already happened. At
Yeah,
this point.
yeah.
I think VIP is on.
I think
I'm gonna
VIP ends up on Spike, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm
yeah.
gonna let you know. I met her once. She's a nice lady.
That's what I've always heard.
I'm
I've never
sure.
heard anything
Very
but
nice
kind
Hey,
words.
she's Canadian. There's no fucking shitty
Yeah.
Canadians, really.
She's also so big I could put her in my purse.
Oh, is that right?
I could put her in this pocket right
oh.
here. This is
At
how-
around
she's so
this
small.
same time, Stan Lee he'd went over to DC and wrote reimagined versions of a bunch of DC characters.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they had started releasing these things called the Essential Marvels that were these like phone book, black and white newsprint things that were just massive reprints of issues. And I like absorbed these for like a decade.
It was a way to because this was not a good time for comic books, was it?
It's on the upswing now. This is the Joe Quesada Marvel era. They're starting to upswing. But one of the things that was interesting was like I was starting to read like actual old Stan Lee writing, and you'd see that like, oh wow, the artwork's really good. Stan Lee is a dog shit writer. And I remember like I was reading like I read the entire original run of Stan Lee X-Men, and the whole time I was like, man, Stan Lee's writing is unfucking readable. And then like Stripperella came out and they did these DC books and all of those are dog shit. And I was like, oh, is Stan Lee kind of just a bullshit artist?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I started to learn about the history of comic books and I was like, oh, he's like a monster.
He's a vibe guy.
Yeah, no, he's a
like
fucking thief and a liar.
He's like when you meet the cocained up TV producer at a comic
very
shop.
much so. Yeah,
vibe guy.
It's wild, and so it was that Stripperella always has like the real like, oh, that was around the time I realized that Stan Lee's no good.
Stripper by night. Superhero by later night.
Think you can handle two of us?
Stan Lee's Stripperella. Starring Pamela Anderson.
Talk about a split personality.
Premieres Thursday at 11 p.m. on Spike TV.
Speaking of comic books, August 15th, 2003, people always go on, what's your favorite comic book movie? And I always hit them with a real hipster curveball.
Bam.
American Splendor is my favorite comic book movie.
You think there's any connection between lentils and Lent?
I don't think so, but I'll ask Sister Mary Fred at church on Sunday.
Sister Mary Fred, huh? She cute? Sounds kind of mannish, but who the hell am I to be picky?
Harvey, you're funny. She's a nun.
Judah Friedlander should have won Best Supporting Actor.
I
There's
agree.
No one who gives a performance in 2003 better than him playing that role.
So good.
He's never been that good in anything he's ever done.
No.
And I love Judah Friedlander is a person I adore.
Hilarious comedian.
But like literally that performance in that movie is jaw-dropping every time I see it.
Right.
And
Oh,
when
yeah.
they reveal the real guy.
The real guys,
And
yes.
you're like, oh my fucking
He did work. He did so much work to get this exactly right.
and just the way it mixes media, that was such an early thing for me going like, oh, this movie's breaking rules on like levels that like are just delightful.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, it was produced by HBO.
Yes, HBO
Yeah,
produced. It's and yeah,
it came out in theaters because they got like a little little shine at the Oscars, I think. But
I'm excited
yeah.
to show it to you. It is truly one of my like warm blanket. Like when everything is awful, I will put on American Splendor and just, like make it better. P-Car.
Yeah. So August 19th, we've got 3 truly fucking massive songs. I'm gonna play like these are like first note. Everybody is gonna know pretty much all of these. So we'll start here.
Stand up.
So this song comes out. This is Ludacris from his album Chicken and Beer, which
Just like that.
ubiquitous. You can't get away from this song.
This is still good.
Still good.
If you were to play this in any club right now,
Oh
you
yeah.
would-
I tried to explain to younger people how important Ludacris was at my high school because I grew up an hour and a half west of Atlanta. Ludacris was everybody's guy.
Well,
like there's so much classic hip hop that came out this year. Fuck that. If you grew up in Alabama or Georgia, Luda was your dude.
my
So-
favorite thing about Luda of this era is he showed up on everyone's albums.
Yes.
So there's like T.I. albums from this era.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's like nicer in his own music, but there's like raps of him just being like, I've never sounded whiter. There's the raps. There's him just like, I will come to your house and shoot your poodle in front of your children. Like it is insane.
Yeah.
Like it's specifically a song called Hurt anyway. But it is he's great. This is the perfect beat for white people to catch too.
Oh, hell yeah.
It really is. This is like how you get your auntie to learn how to like.
Yeah. Oh, this sounds like a fight in my high school parking lot. Like this is.
That's so good.
This would be playing at a woods party where or a field party.
Oh, you mean a pallet burn?
Yeah.
What do you call it? A fire pit on the beach if you were so beach inclined?
Yeah. So the album, by the way, Chicken and Beer, is now the name of Ludacris's restaurant that he has in the Atlanta airport.
He has it.
It's just in the airport, as far as I know. When you fly, if you fly the luxurious skies that I do aboard Spirit Airlines, you'll land at the right terminal to get to Chicken
That's
and Beer.
how they get you.
You know, Burbank's Spirit Terminal also has better restaurants.
Does it really?
Oh, you're talking about the one out here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got the farmer's market with
It's got the farmer, and it's got the
Burbank. I go to Alaska because it's got the Guy Fieri.
Got the Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri. Yeah. I'm a Southwest bitch, so I'm on the A side.
I almost exclusively fly to Seattle.
So you made mention of this guy, but this also fucking everywhere.
Oh, this is on my workout playlist.
Is it? Rubber Band Man. So T.I. releases trap music this year. Unfortunately, T.I. would later take Luda's advice and do stand up. And yeah.
Do me a favor. Wait. I only need Rubber Band Man. Wild as the Taliban. Oh, you could just sing. There's a wild bit at the end of Rubber Band Man.
A sucker needs some type of security. We at Buster Carter found that solution. Are you tired of getting tried like a freak at a cut party? Maybe it's time you try.
Fuck, I remember this.
For all of life's little trap problems. Call toll free at Remember the FDIC, some lanes are subject to credit approval.
It's basically the moral of the story is watch your own money and don't hand your money off to people you don't 100% trust or people you trust.
Well, that's basically. Like people forget at the end of Rollout by Ludacris, there is just 2 guys beating the shit out of each other in a parking lot, and a guy's just going, "Go to sleep."
What's up? Come here. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. And you're like, this was a fun song a minute ago.
They should just always play.
What happened to PlayStation 2 Up in the Ride? Is that Lorenzo Kenneth? Like,
that is, by the way, what they should just play at like every.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Go to sleep.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Like you hear like Indiana Jones fake punching sounds, and then just a guy going, "Go to sleep."
I feel like that was such occasionally the sketch turned into just these sort of weird soundscapes that were lightly unsettling sometimes.
Yeah.
And be like, what's going on behind the subtext of these party jams?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no.
But this exact same day, by the way, boy, if you were looking to sell a cellular telephone, this day changed your fucking life. Yeah, that's right.
You know, this song is good.
All the way from Australia.
I will say 2 things. One, I think this is the fastest I've ever been in a band where we learned to play it because it's just super easy to play.
Right.
Like we heard it and then we're like, all right, I guess we can fucking play
I don't play the drums and I'm drumming it appropriately for the air.
I also saw this band in 2005.
Whoa, where at?
They were at
they good?
They were at the Irvine Convention Center, I want to say. It was at K-Rock used to do those one-day festivals. This was the Inland Invasion. It was at the Yeah, no, it was at the
K-Rock's Inland Invasion.
And this one was because it's the same. Like I saw the Arcade Fire this day too. And also
shit.
Garbage. Like it was a weird lineup.
Damn.
Garbage is a weird line.
Garbage fucking crushed it.
Yeah, no, they're
but
great.
So it was half like bands of the moment and half
Jet-
90s
but
bands.
Jet
But
sucked.
they were the greasiest 4 fucking humans I have ever seen on a stage, and I have seen Iggy Pop. Like they looked.
I've also seen Iggy
Like
Pop. That's a statement.
They looked like they were like shimmery. It was like they played sort of fine, like not great but not
Did
bad.
it look
but
like they smelled from where
yes,
you were at?
I was in the next row back from where like even the beginning front area would be this thing, and I was just like, they look smelly at a level I don't know if I've ever seen. I remember
they were
like,
just slippery fuckboys.
this festival is also fun because in the book, the History of Merge Records book, in the Arcade Fire thing, they cite this as a show as their worst show of all time, and I was like, I thought they were pretty good.
Okay. Your description reminds me. I had a video date call with a gentleman, and I looked at him and I said, "Did you shower today, son?"
Hit the showers. Coach Ina Valencia says it. Get the showers.
Coach Anya Valencia says, "You look like a UTI about to happen. So I need you to absolutely not. We're not fucking.
Lavar, niño.
Yes, exactly. Cochino, God, wash your hair."
So we got those 3 classics. Also, a suicide bomber destroyed the UN headquarters in Baghdad, killing 24. Yeah. So this is kind of the beginning of the suicide bombing thing. Like it was obviously going on in the Middle East for years, but as far as a concentrated resistance effort
Toward
in Iraq,
us.
this is kind of where it starts a little bit. Is right at the end of the summer.
Man, we just could not have a sense of we had Vietnam that shit so hard. That was goddamn.
To be fair, Vietnam was literally half the war this was.
That's true. That's true.
I used to watch and listen to a lot of Democracy Now! At this time and just weep while folding my laundry because I was so upset because you would hear about like remember when Blackwater just sent a Humvee with no maps? They had maps of Hawaii instead of maps.
Right.
And just like
you guys will figure it out.
Just a bunch of fucking already war veteran mercenary crews were just getting capped.
Oh,
just like, Jesus, what an incompetent ass war.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was nothing fun. Say something funny, Kyle. Say something funny.
This is the float with all these. But again, it's
But we had Ludacris.
We had Ludacris. So August 21st, man, we lost one of my heroes on this day. R.I.P. Rock over London. Rock on Chicago.
Suck a male camel's dick. Suck a hyena's ass.
Wait, Wesley Willis, R.I.P.
2003?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What is this?
Wait, you don't know Wesley Willis?
No.
Oh, Anna.
Oh, Anna.
Hang on.
All right, I'm gonna shut up and let you take her on a journey.
Suck a hippo's cock. Suck a honey badger's ass. Suck a llama's balls. Suck a Labrador retriever's dick.
A Labrador retrieval's dick is a thing you can visualize. That was not fair. Why?
So Wesley Willis, famous outsider artist and musician from Chicago.
Okay.
He does. First of all,
You got to play her the song.
which one? There's a million songs.
You should give her a rock and roll McDonald.
That's not the song. The song is "I Whoop Batman's Ass."
Okay, you're You're right.
No, see, this is the issue with Wesley Willis.
I feel like I just said I've never seen the Godfather movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm one of the guys who love outsider artists.
I'm Willis-plaining
so
absolutely
sorry.
right
Oh
now.
my God.
So
Wesley
no, this is a gift.
Wesley Willis, outsider artist to say the least. The thing they don't ever talk about, he did all the pen art for all of his album covers. Yeah, he's an amazing. And so he lived in Chicago, in and out of housing, let's say.
Okay.
But he had a synthesizer, and he would be on the street, and he made up his own songs. He's bipolar, and basically some punk rock guys in Chicago got him signed to a label and let him make extremely high quality versions of all of his music exactly the way he wanted it. And so you can listen to such hits as Fuck You, Birdman Kick My Ass. Yeah.
Actually, Birdman Kick My Ass plays on the DVD menu for the first season of Harvey Birdman.
Oh, hell yeah. Cut That Mullet. And then my favorite thing was he would get taken around by punk rock musicians on tour, and he would write songs about them. So he has the song.
He'd open for tons of bands.
Jello Biafra. He has a song called The Flaming Lips, which the Flaming Lips to this day still play right before they go on stage.
Yeah.
And actually, shout out to my friends Forrest Bright, Ryan Hawkins down in Auburn. Their band was called Let's Fight NASA, and they opened for Wesley Willis. And somewhere there's a demo of a Let's Fight NASA Wesley Willis song, which is just him yelling the name of their band over and over.
Amazing.
But no, anyway, yeah, Wesley Willis.
There's multiple albums.
Oh, there's so many. He made
These are good
so many
covers,
records.
too.
Yeah, so I'll play this one for Kyle. This is Rock and Roll McDonald's.
McDonald's is a place to rock. It is a restaurant where they buy food to eat. It is a good place to listen to the music. People flock here to get down to the rock music. Rock and roll McDonald's. Rock and roll McDonald's.
So
okay,
this is one of those like Napster things where this shit went around. I don't know. I want to say my friend Nerm Sturgis is the one who turned me on to Wesley Willis, but it's one of those things you just get a mix CD and the first track would be like, fuck you, fuck you.
That's for me, that's the same way I discovered like Tom Waits, Wesley Willis. Who the fuck?
I love the Tom Waits.
Mr. Bungle with like, this is very much like this is the time here too where there's like 2 or 3 people in my life who have seen that I'm a little fucking sponge for any culture shit I can get.
Yeah, this is
so I'm
great.
just being like handed CDs and mixtapes and books or DVDs because people are just like, whatever I can instill upon this boy, he is listening. I'm taking. I'm just like, I will eat anything. Like just shovel.
Give me a mixtape and I will learn a thing.
The later era Temptations is a thing I should know about. Okay.
That man got on my nerves. He was running me amok. He ridiculed me, calling me a bum. I whooped that man's ass. I whooped
the echo.
Man's ass.
Okay, so if I ever get married, I'm gonna walk down the aisle.
Yes.
I whooped Batman's ass. Oh God,
man.
what a great song! Thank you, thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, of course.
feel-
Wesley Willis, he's worth a look-see, and they had an album, a tribute album that came out this year. It is still available on archive for free. It's called "Loved Like a Milkshake."
Oh, I need to go listen to it.
And it's got covers of all these Chicago indie bands who did covers of Wesley Willis songs, but
so he was just like a loved character.
Hell yeah!
Like,
oh
people just
yeah!
loved him.
This is
he would give a little headbutt, and that was his sort of like hug testament thing.
It wasn't a little headbutt. It was a headbutt to the point where he had a hematoma on his head permanently because he would grab you and like bam, like give you a headbutt. So or hematoma, I should say.
Headbutted one of Pat's parents.
Yeah, he headbutted my friend Forrest when they opened for him. Yeah, that was his thing. But anyway, Wesley Willis passed away. R.I.P. That's
R.I.P. to a real one.
Every one of his songs ends with the same phrase where the song is coming to an end and he goes, "Rock over London, rock on Chicago, Wheaties, breakfast of champions," or Taco Bell, make a run for the border. He says a corporate slogan. So that's every
He's
song.
like a character from a Transmetropolitan.
Yes, very much
yeah,
so.
dude.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Wesley's so cool, man. Shout out to Chicago. R.I.P. Wesley Willis. The next day, rest in piss, Nazi film director Leni Riefenstahl.
He was still alive?
Yeah, so
we rest in piss many folks.
So, actually, she's not rest in piss yet. So she's on August 22nd.
Oh, she's a woman.
She is 101 years old.
We can do it all.
Oh, hell yeah. Leni Riefenstahl.
Employing ladies.
Yeah.
It really did, actually.
It's a terrifying thing when you go look at it.
I know.
You're like, ugh.
August 22nd, 2003, Nazi film director Leni Riefenstahl, 101 years old, weds cinematographer Horst Kettner, 59. She died 17 days later. Rest in piss.
She just was like, I'm dying.
She gave her gigolo some
I think it was just so he could secure, her actual Nazi gold when she died. Yeah, so she directed Olympia. So if you've ever seen the footage of the 1936 Olympics, that was directed by Leni Riefenstahl. If you've ever seen footage of the Nuremberg rally with the big torches and all that stuff, Leni Riefenstahl, girl boss.
I bet she ended up as clips of the Muppet Babies a lot, and that makes me happy.
Well, what's crazy is she didn't go to jail or nothing. She escaped Nuremberg and she kept making little movies here and there. Yeah,
I just made some movies.
She made a documentary about the ocean. And you're like, bitch, you can't just do that.
Maybe Jews in there.
Yeah.
I'm looking for underwater
Atlantis.
Jews.
Just making sure.
She made The Abyss, actually.
That same day, Alabama Chief Justice and local mall pedophile Roy Moore is suspended after refusing to comply with a federal court order to remove a rock inscribed with the 10 Commandments from the lobby of the Alabama Supreme Court building.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Culture warrior.
On November 13th, the Court of the Judiciary removed Moore from his office for purposefully defying the federal court's order to remove the monument. The monument was removed November 14th, 2003. But Roy Moore, and I made this point when he kind of poked his head back up a few years ago during the Trump years.
This feels like a name I know more of, and I couldn't figure out.
This was the re-election a few years ago, right?
Yes, yeah. So he got waxed by Doug Jones, who then decided to just continue to be a right-wing guy calling himself a Democrat, and then he got waxed by Tommy Tupperville, who led my Auburn Tigers to an undefeated season the next year after this in 2004. But we won't speak on that till it's time. So anyway. Roy Moore came back, tried to get into the Senate. That's when it got revealed that he had been banned from the mall in Gadsden for making creepy statements to teenagers.
There's a man banned from the trolley at the Americana, and that's all I can say. I was the only one who would ever kick him off, too, because the other guys were like, I don't want to make a fuss, and I hear he's friends with the mall's owner, and I'd be like, sir, you need to get off this trolley. This is for children. And you got a hand problem. Get out of here. Beat it.
Yeah.
All 5'4" of me is going to defend this trolley.
Yeah.
So my own little under siege.
I know.
Well, my favorite thing with Roy Moore is they kick him out, but because Alabama votes for its judiciary, he gets voted back in. Yes. The next time he makes headlines, it's when, great day, the Supreme Court legalizes gay marriage across the country. And
damn it.
Because he couldn't stop that anymore, what he did was he outlawed marriage.
Oh, I remember
all marriage in Alabama.
Yeah, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah. And so, I, was doing a little bit about this on stage at the time, and I was saying, like, I was talking about this 10 Commandments thing, and I'm like, if you're so fucked up that the Bush administration is like, hey, man, not cool at any point, you are fucking wild. So,
yeah.
Anyway, that was what was happening in my neck of the woods. But
this was before the Republican Party was just a creepy improv game, like a hateful improv game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like now it's just like yes and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like it just gets worse and worse and worse.
Oh yeah. So August 25th, we always kind of talk about who won the year. And we've already hit on 50 Cent as being a potential winner of the year. We've also hit on a couple of other things, but my personal vote came out on this day.
This one.
I mean,
this one. Oh my God, I'm dancing in my grandma's living room to MTV when it still played music.
Yeah. So
this video is so good.
Not only this video is cool, but what's crazy is I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland for the first time, and they have the outfits that he's wearing in the video. Man, Andre 3000 is small, dude.
He's a little dude.
Well, so I also love because this video then gives us one of my favorite things, which is Andre 3000 by way of Key and Peele sketches.
Oh, yes.
Which is just how I think about when the fucking Flute album came out. I really quickly realized that in my head, all visions of Andre 3000 were at that point just the Key and Peele character.
Now, I want to say, because this record, famously, this is two records. This is Speaker Box, The Love Below.
So every song was a top 40 hit. Like they would just think about releasing a song and it would just like go to number one and it was inescapable.
The album's divided in half. Speaker Box belongs to Big Boy. Andre 3000's side is called The Love Below. I love Hey Ya. Hey Ya is immortal. I kind of like this a little better.
Also, the video has some thick women in it. It's the first time I saw a girl with just a big old gut and a thong.
Action, nip it in the bud. We never relaxing. It's everlasting.
I love this part.
Not at all, but see, my nigga went to do a little acting.
It's
anyway,
great.
This record is fucking perfect, and it's going to go on to absolutely sweep the Grammys the next year. It's going to sell 13 million copies, win Album of the Year in 2004, and but they released both of these singles on the same day.
I'm going to say,
just to see how they did. And
here's the thing. I love 50 Cent. I also just watched an amazing TikTok that broke down like how 50 Cent like came from being like a drug enforcer to being not enforcer, like enforcement officer. He came from being like the fucking in the organization or whatever. And the guys that he went from the street. Anyway,
Are you talking? Are you saying he's a cop?
No. That's not what I'm saying.
I thought you said drug enforcement officer.
That's what I meant. I meant no. I said not an enforcement officer. Anyway, I'm
what's going on?
What I'm saying is that he was involved with he was a rapper, but he was involved with drug things, and then he got in a beef with Ja Rule, and then like they all got in. But anyway, so he also like did a fucking restraining order against Ja Rule at one point, and then Ja Rule's petty ass organization they photocopied it and just glued it to lampposts and shit and called 50 Cent a snitch. Anyway, that whole drama. I'm just saying he had a part. That's how he got shot. Is he had a part.
My favorite 50 Cent thing is that he. And I've said this before. My favorite kind of roast joke is a roast joke that is devastating. And you can say it on Nick Jr. at 7 a.m. If you can somehow find a roast joke that is you could play on any TV channel that still ruins somebody,
I hear it.
That's my favorite. So 50 Cent did this to Ja Rule by simply saying, "You sing like Cookie Monster." And you can't unhear it. That's because every time you hear Ja, the way you walk, the way you move. And anyway, that is a children's joke, but it's utterly devastating. The man's career never recovered from it.
So what was 50 Cent's single from this year?
In
was
the
it
Club?
Candy?
It was In the Club, yeah.
Up in the Club.
And
Pretty
also,
popular song.
it was In the Club, Wangsta, 21 Questions, and shit, what's the other? PIMP. So you've got four major hits.
The best husband killing song ever made. PIMP.
Well, because did those songs end up as the music in a Gap commercial, and also to sell your iPhone, and also something your mommy and your auntie could dance to, and also something you could finger girl to?
With Outkast music, it's a chance because it's not the easiest thing to swallow, all the time. So it could go either way, It's always on that fence where people could say, oh, they can hail it and love it, like this is the greatest thing in the world, or they can say, they have gone too far. So it's always that. But the only thing we can do is just make the music that we know how to do and just continue the plight of Outkast and continue to give it to them how we know how. Somebody got to do it, so why not it be us?
Ends up going on to sell 13 million copies, wins Album of the Year at the Grammys in 2004. August 28th, the 2003 MTV Video Music Awards, hosted by Chris Rock. You're going to know this as soon as I say it. So the award show starts, and pretty quickly we get Madonna popping out of a birthday cake, followed quickly by Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears, and then they all kiss each other. It was that one, while singing Like a Virgin. So
Like a Virgin.
Yeah, so it's that VMAs.
How old was she?
Oh, you mean Madonna? Oh, I don't know, like in her 50s probably. Who knows? Yeah. Meanwhile, while the VMAs are going on, Brian Douglas Wells, a pizza delivery man in Erie, Pennsylvania, is forced to rob a bank with a bomb collar attached to his neck.
Oh, from the
movie.
Yeah, so Wells is killed after the bomb around his neck explodes via remote control. They made a Netflix documentary series about it in 2018 called Evil Genius that is absolutely fucking insane.
I couldn't get through it because
it's so wild.
I hate her.
I haven't.
So
oh, you mean
much.
Marjorie Deal Armstrong and Kenneth Barnes?
Her
what is
so
the? I don't
much.
know that I know this. The doc. I know about 30 minutes or less. The really sucky Jesse Eisenberg, Sorry movie.
So that's based on a real story where this guy shows up at a bank and he has a bomb around his neck and he robs the bank and then he gets pulled over and then the bomb explodes and kills him. And the investigation determined that the plot was masterminded by this woman, Marjorie Deal Armstrong, and it's the most convoluted, dumb shit of all time. Where
it's like so hard to follow the documentary because she's so hard to follow as a person.
Yeah, so where they were supposed to receive an inheritance by hiring Barnes with the money from the bank, and they were going to kill her dad. So her dad has money, so they're going to pay the pizza guy to assassinate her father using the money they make him steal, using a fake bomb. But then he shows up and they're like, no, actually the bomb is real, and they send him on a scavenger hunt all around. Meth is involved, and so he goes around and then they blow him up and it blows a huge hole in his chest.
I made it, I think, to the second episode, and I was like, number one, I can't do this lady's voice anymore because she's got a real crazy voice, and number two, it was like, it was such it's so convoluted.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
It's almost like, okay, now I don't even care at this point. I feel bad for this man, but also this is improv gone wrong. It just had a real and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this. And nobody was like, no.
But it also kind of blows open the whole thing that Florida is our craziest state. It's like, no, Pennsylvania and Ohio, we got to keep an eye on you guys.
I mean, Wisconsin, the serial killer count alone.
Yeah, that's true. August 30th, Charles Bronson dies, and 19-year-old Stanford student Elizabeth Holmes starts her magic blood box company, Theranos. Theranos would go on...
Magic blood, that's what I call my vagina.
Theranos would go on to raise more than $700 million from venture capitalists and private investors, resulting in a $10 billion valuation at its peak in 2013. She is currently locked up in federal prison doing an 11-year biddy.
What if I told you that the only thing I can do is sound a little bit like Steve Jobs and wear a turtleneck and somehow charm... Oh, what evil person was one of her bankroll guys?
Joe Biden.
No, another one.
Oh, Henry Kissinger.
Kissinger was one of her bankroll guys. Kissinger was obsessed with her.
Oh, yeah.
She's kind of cute.
Her eyes don't
Kiss me,
blink.
Henry. Kermit the Frog, kind of.
Girl from
situation.
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, no.
Which one? Oh.
But
she's not... She's just, this like real thin white lady that like basically her crime is getting old white men to give her money.
Oh, yeah.
And promising. But it's what's
But also-
Shakespearean is the CBS
Do you think when
part.
she panics, she sounds like Cher? I'm sorry. I had to say it. Guys, we got to get the blood boxes working.
We gotta get the blood boxes to work. Like,
Do you believe in the blood box?
No, it's my blood box. I love that this whole story came about because I was so traumatized about pricking my finger.
It's so crazy.
I got a blood draw and it traumatized me. I'm like, ma'am, we were all hit with belts. Grow up.
Well, speaking of white ladies, September 1st, 2003, Starbucks releases the first pumpkin spice lattes in Vancouver and DC.
What?
The response is so overwhelming they release it nationwide later in the fall.
The winner of this year is the
pumpkin spice
Without
latte.
question.
The
Absolutely. We
pumpkin
have
spice-
a winner.
Yeah, did the pumpkin spice latte... I mean, did it release a jazz album that had an entire run-on sentences for titles? No, it didn't.
Yeah.
So
No, it was too busy continuing to dominate society with pumpkin spice flavoring.
Damn.
Yeah, PSL wins.
PSO.
September 7th, R.I.P. Warren Zevon passed away.
Oh,
That was-
no.
I'll say it kind of like dark statement. If you're going to die and you're an artist, you could do worse than making the fucking Wind.
Yes.
God
Fuck me.
fucking
Yeah.
damn it. The most devastatingly sad record that will ever be made.
Well, it's crazy because The Wind and The Man Comes Around are the same year. So both, Johnny Cash and Warren Zevon make one last record that's just going to fuck everyone up forever.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Bowie was like, hold my purse. I got a Black Star coming.
The next day, Ellen DeGeneres Show makes its premiere in syndication.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Yay.
workers of the world unite. And also,
Young Karen Gilgariff learns terror.
and also, Anderson Cooper 360 premieres on CNN.
Hey!
All
A young America learns terror.
Yeah, and speaking of terror, some have even become, maybe perhaps a little numb to the whole situation in Hollywood because of those two. So, also, that same day, Numb by Linkin Park is released. This is what I was thinking the whole goddamn year was going to be, was this butt rock shit. You know?
No.
Yeah, I was, but I think the butt rock stuff really is like 2002. And I realized
Is this butt rock? Or
it is
this new
butt
metal?
rock as fuck. No,
I
because
find that Linkin Park are kind of a transitional between butt rock into sort of like the music that would come after butt rock.
yeah,
What's the music that came after butt rock?
The sort of like
Post-butt?
Nickelback, post-butt.
post butt.
By the way, I love that we're just saying butt rock because honestly, I haven't had a good conversation that involves the term butt rock in 20 years. Some real butt rock
but
bullshit.
part of it is butt rock is back. Like
Oh, yeah,
the
big
youth
time.
love the new metal.
No, that's what. Okay, so butt rock, new metal, that's the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
More or less. Yeah.
But like the real remove all of the artistic credibility of new metal. Like remove your
Yeah.
Deftones, remove your early Korn records, your
Okay.
things like that. Remove your Taproots and PODs even, and what you end up with is your butt rock.
I was going to say, it's the difference
Your
between...
Chevelle, your Breaking
I
Benjamin.
banged a 29-year-old a couple months ago.
yeah, change
who's-
that, sure.
No, a couple months ago. If I'm being correct in the timeline, few months ago, and he was like, I'm just like such a new metal guy. I just like love new metal. And I was like, okay. He also had one of them mullets and a face tattoo. It was fun.
I know a girl who got a drowning pole tattoo.
I had to tell him that I turned on Pretty Hate Machine. I had to tell him it was fucking Nine Inch Nails. He didn't know what Nine Inch Nails, early Nine Inch Nails was. He was like, I love Nine Inch Nails. This isn't Nine Inch Nails. And I was like, it is. Shut up.
Yeah. I would say it's the difference between early rock and roll and rockabilly.
Yes.
So the differences are there, but they're subtle.
They're subtle.
Yeah. Mainly it's somebody going
that is
with a turntable in the background.
Butt rock that ever what. Have we ever escaped that song? I feel like it's on the radio all the time still.
Yeah, well, it's a shame because the guy killed himself. Obviously, that's sad, but
he killed himself.
But it gave them so much more artistic credibility than they should have ever had.
Well,
do they have a new lead singer?
No, they're
their
done.
other singer sings everything now. As far as I think, Mike Shinoda sings everything, doesn't he?
Does he? I thought they were.
Band,
right?
No,
I thought they were done.
They're done. I think
yeah, they're done.
Yeah,
I just felt like it was an entire band full of guys that go, well, actually,
no.
And as you can tell, I misspeak
no, they
a
were
lot.
actually like a pretty because they're one of those bands I've always wanted to shit on, but they're like pretty decent humans, and I'm like, god damn it,
better than Nickelback. Yeah.
Yes,
I think they're cooler. Based on recent interviews that I've seen, I'm like, well, I would probably rather hang out with these guys.
Which one like partnered with Jay-Z at one point?
Linkin Park.
Linkin Park. Yeah. So just one of mine to mention, September 9th, 2003, My Morning Jacket releases It Still Moves.
Okay.
One Big Holiday, still one of their best songs of the whole decade.
Play that one.
9/11, some have called it the second 9/11.
The second one.
John Ritter dies in Los Angeles of an undiagnosed heart condition.
The second 9/11.
Yeah, September 11th, 2003. Sir, a second heart attack has hit the Ritter.
A second heart attack has hit the Ritter.
September 12th, Lost in Translation is released.
Oh.
So again, I told you this is like in the middle of me getting into films, right? So like I was all about this movie. It came out on DVD. I still own it on DVD.
I've only
Bill
seen
Murray
it once.
Renaissance coming up. Fucking amazing film. Scarlett Johansson, her big debut.
That was actually like a wild moment because she's weirdly in a bunch of movies I watched with she's an 8-legged freak.
That's right.
There's like a ton of stuff she popped up in before she kind of breaks and lost imagination. It was such a weird thing of like, oh man, that like girl I like in every movie is like this. Certainly, I hope Jenna Malone has the same blow up too.
Yeah. Well, and also Sofia Coppola. I think that might be
it's her second movie. Virgin Suicide's before.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Also, fucking awesome movie.
It's a pretty fucking ballin' ass first movie.
I know. Hard to beat.
And maybe the last great James Woods performance.
Oh yeah, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know if I've seen anything past Casino. What else did he do after that?
That one.
Yeah, just that.
He's Hades in the Hercules movie.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. That same day, Johnny Cash passes away. Speaking of rock and roll, Johnny Cash dies, and his wife had died back in May of that year, June Carter Cash. And I do remember because John Ritter died at night, let's say midnight, and then Johnny Cash died 12:01. So technically overnight. Damn. I come to school the next day and all these motherfuckers are just running around being like, John Ritter died. That's so sad. And I'm just like, show some goddamn respect. Like I was a little angry music nerd at that point. I was like, Johnny Cash, man. I remember being pissed that more people were sad about John Ritter than Johnny Cash. Yeah. History's born me
If
out.
it makes you feel better, the band I was in my dorm in college was called the John Ritter Zombie.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Wow, that's a good name.
We're pretty stoked on it.
September 17th, President Bush concedes there is no evidence linking Iraqi President Saddam Hussein to the September 11th attacks. So, according to stuff that was released later, all of this information was presented to them well before the war fucking started, and they ignored all of it.
But we needed gas.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, Halliburton needed gas. We didn't even get any of the fucking gas.
God. Cue fucking Bill Maher. Oh, is it spelled oil? Or whatever. I don't know. He's made of wax.
September 21st.
I'm having a stroke, guys. Did you know that?
September 21st, 2003, the 55th annual Emmy Awards. The Sopranos pretty much runs away with that motherfucker.
That's mid-run, right? That's like season 4.
Yeah, season 4.
Yeah, so
I do
they're
believe.
really like, we're the only TV show worth watching.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And then
I can't even imagine because I literally like did the show so much later that it's like the historical context is one of those things I'm truly missing that I'm sad. Now here's one of my favorite albums.
I was about to say 24 hours later we get
Every track, whole thing.
Still a banger.
Fever to Tell by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs is released with the lead single
It's a
being
fucking
Like,
banger.
I never like them more than this, but this I probably listen to once a week.
I'm a big fan of the Show Your Bones era. Gold
I
Lion.
still like the rest of them. But
I do
goddamn,
love Gold Lion.
Yeah.
The
something like a
Date with the
phenomenon.
Night to me is about as good as 2000s era rock music.
Oh,
is.
hell yeah.
Like my like dream band has always kind of been just to do the yeah yeahs.
I'll do it. I can sing this. I can sing this.
I remember them showing this shit on MTV in the mornings when you leave the house. Like, just this shit was everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Karen O, awesome.
Like this.
If you listen to her solo
I think
album?
this is my Such Great Heights.
Yeah, I think it's me too. Actually, yeah, that's
Like
a great
I
way to
like
put
that
this.
song, but this is like if I'm thinking 2003 wistfully, there's a song playing over it. It's this and Not Such Great Heights.
Yeah. Also on the exact same day, by the way. This is
Underrated record. As a guy who's not the biggest hair metal fan, this record is great.
That's right. The Darkness, I Believe in a Thing Called Love, is released on the same day as Maps by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Now we're getting into like the 2003 that I remember.
I believe I bought both of these at the same time.
I think I maybe did too.
The Warehouse.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I heard this for the first time in a long time recently. Was like, oh, I forgot this like legitimately is a good song.
He's doing like a Instagram thing now and reviewing other records and stuff. It's kind of
They
fun.
were funny. Like, they were a good staple of Spin where they just do weird shit and make a bunch of jokes.
Yeah, well, this was like a sci-fi kind of themed video and
hit
everything.
This chorus, Fran,
oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so
that's pretty great.
Unfucking beatable. Also, at the exact same day, 2.5 Men premieres on CBS this day.
Whoa.
NCIS and Cold Case premiered the next day. CBS is absolutely on fucking fire.
Yeah.
Las Vegas premieres on NBC that night. And I wrote, truly a golden era for shows that have billions of viewers, but no one you know has ever seen them.
Yes. Fucking
I've seen
hauntingly
them.
accurate.
I've seen them because I visit my stepmom.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, there you go. Yeah. If you're doing elder care, then you've probably
I've seen them. I've seen a lot of those shows.
I appreciate the next thing you've got on the list because I have a fun, cute Anna and I story adjacent to it.
Oh, for Atmosphere?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that comes out this year.
So September 23rd, 2003.
yes.
This was one I just had on my personal list, but if you got something for it, Atmosphere releases his amazing record, Seven's Travels on Rhymesayer Records out of Minneapolis.
So this has been a thing, Anna, I've slowly learned over the decade that we have been friends is that we dabble in the same type of dorky hip hop bullshit.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Just backpacking it for days in the mid 2000s. Idea and Abilities, Atmosphere,
Yes.
Your Sage
Yep.
Frank,
Aesop Rock. Yeah.
Yes.
Brother Ali.
all of my favorite things in
Yes.
the world are secretly this. And
You
we
could
were
not be a sober like a clean and sober person and escape these records.
Is that true? Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because this is as a lot of these rappers are going in and out of the program.
Oh,
so
wow.
Like Aesop Rock has a song about going to rehab.
Yeah,
like, it's all like you can't escape any of this.
So we are doing the Comedy Fort record for Anna's special,
Mhm.
and the weekend of it prior to the taping, she is opening for Lori Kilmartin. And it turns out the Comedy Fort, whoever's running the music there, has the exact same taste that Anna's eye because it's just the yeah in mid 2000s like alternative hip hop. And we're sitting in there in the dressing room quietly. We are all on our phones with Lori in there.
It's just Lori, Kyle, and I.
And Guns and Cigarettes from Atmosphere starts to play.
Hell yeah.
And then it kicks into the part about this girl of mine kept my name out of
Hold on, no, yeah.
Go to hell, girl. You make me sick. I hope your new boyfriend gets cancer in his dick.
Lori Kilmartin's eyes shoot wide open because we have broken the silence in unison.
without looking, without cueing.
No,
We're
both of
just
us
like-
did it independently,
We're just like, boop, boop, boop.
staring at each other, and then back to thing. And
and she,
I was like, oh, she regrets this so much.
She was horrified and disappointed in us.
A match. So that's. I've been listening to a bunch of Atmosphere, and I just keep seeing the terrified
God,
face
this
of Lori
album-
Kilmartin.
This album fucking owns.
It ruled so hard.
And I will say, this came out in 2003. I got into this record, so there's like certain types of records that I feel like you were just handed on your first day of college.
Yes.
And this was literally true in this case. I met my friend Johnny Mose, friend of the show, been on the show many times, one of my best friends. Met him on my first day at the University of Montevallo, and we went riding around in his car and listening to this. So this was literally
there you
handed to
go.
me my first day of college. I was like, stop writing raps and go play volleyball. That's awesome. So anyway,
all that stuff. I remember coming into college and I was just getting into hip hop music, which you can tell because of the way I said it. And I was into like Public Enemy and The Chronic and Immortal Technique were all I had guessed.
Immortal Technique.
But what was funny is there was a dude in my hall. Shout out to Amadeo for being my adopted hip hop father who looked at like what I was into and was like, this simply will not do. Come with me. And told me, and it was like Idea and Abilities, Atmosphere, Aesop Rock, fucking Black Star.
Yeah, hell
like just I had the most college freshman ass hip hop taste that continues to this day.
Weird Side is on my workout list.
Oh, nice.
Many Faces of Oliver Hart, one of my other favorite albums ever made.
It's so good and it's conceptual.
Every time I go back to it, I'm sort of shocked at how consistently excellent it is.
It's so fucking. And if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know what, listen, these fools crawled in and out of rehab. So Mac Miller could fucking run
away from rehab. Oh, this fucking lady.
I knew there was a reason why I was here. They're so good. That album is so good. I used to jog to that album, and it was funny because at the time, again, I was with like the gothiest boy. I was still with the gothiest boy, the gothiest Kyle, and I'm out here just listening to aggressive underground hip hop on my own time, and then getting in the car and listening to the same goddamn Joy Division album over and over and over again. By this time, I convinced him to listen to
the
Johnny
nipple
Cash.
rings going ting-a-ling-a-ling.
Yeah. Oh fuck, man, this is such a good. It's such a good era of hip hop. I was handed this CD by a much cooler, newer person in a 12-step program.
Oh, nice.
She handed me a bunch of just burned CDs of Atmosphere.
Well, I couldn't
and
tell you what a
Idea and
single
Abilities.
Atmosphere record looks like on CD.
Yeah, they were all burn mixes, and then she like slipped some Aesop Rock in there, and she like slipped some Brother Ali in there.
Yes.
And, it was really interesting. So I got that from a gal who I don't even know if she's still clean.
I got to see an amazing afternoon at Bonnaroo where I went from Atmosphere to Sonic Youth.
I did that too.
All of that makes sense to me, though.
Actually,
a little bit. You know?
I skipped because we went and saw Be Your Own Pet instead of Atmosphere.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that Atmosphere show was dope. And I had to sit through the streets, and that was torture.
Oh, that's right. I did. I watched the streets because I was too into the streets at the time.
I still can't with any. I'm sorry, British people, but I can't take you seriously.
I've been actually having a little bit of a sauce because I've gotten super into the band Yard Act, who are very, very much like, what if the streets were post-punk?
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
I can't imagine something you'd hate more.
I was going to say,
Those are so funny.
We're inside your area.
Yes.
You're listening to the streets. We're inside your area. Oh.
I don't even remember the streets.
It was a white man named Mike Skinner from England, and he would go,
Don't mug yourself, mate. Don't mug yourself.
Yeah. What is the? He's got the song about the whatever. Keep your head up, mate. Anyway.
You listen to it now and it's pretty shitty unless you were there in that immediate moment. Like when you play like certain like industrial songs, you're like, I know this sucks, but like at the time we didn't have other stuff yet.
So same day as Atmosphere, we've also got this is of course a perfectly titled album. Results may vary by Limp Bizkit featuring their cover of The Who's Behind Blue Eyes, which is
such a weird thing.
Pretty funny now that you hear it.
I didn't know they covered this.
What it's like to be the bad man.
I feel like someone just showed me a penis I wasn't expecting. I was like, what, did you see the face I just made? I was like, what?
I did not realize this was literally the same year that he got arrested for the child porn stuff.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
Pete Townsend. Yeah.
That was earlier this year.
Yeah, not Fred. Fred's still cool. He's just, lame.
Hold on, but
can't help that.
Limp Bizkit's got like a renaissance happening.
Oh, I'm aware.
Too.
Oh yeah, big time.
Like the kids are very into Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, hell yeah. Why
when
wouldn't
Fred
you be?
Durst has kind of been doing an interesting sort of like rehabilitation where he's like, I'm a movie guy now.
But then he's also like grown out a big beard and he has Owen Wilson hair for some reason.
Yeah.
And is doing big festivals now. October 3rd, School of Rock is released. Great film.
Aww.
One of the best.
So
it's a good era if you like a Jack Black anything.
Yeah.
This is a good era.
And, that night, if you lived in Las Vegas, you had a couple of entertainment options. You could have gone to the movies, perhaps to see School of Rock by Richard Linklater, or maybe you made your way down to the Mirage, where German-American animal enthusiast Roy Horn was celebrating his 59th birthday. During a performance that night at the Mirage, Roy, better known as one half of Siegfried and Roy, was holding a microphone to a 7-year-old white tiger named Manticore's mouth and told him, "Say hello, Manticore," to the audience. Manticore responded by biting Horn's sleeve. Horn Horn swatted the tiger and yelled, "Release!" And the trainer tried unsuccessfully to distract the cat with cubes of meat. The tiger then leapt on Horn, knocking him off to his feet. As trainers rushed the stage to assist, Manticore bit into Horn's neck, piercing his spine and dragging him off stage towards his cage. Horn was finally released after trainers sprayed the tiger with a fire extinguisher.
I would like to submit a new winner of the year.
Manticore?
That might be Manticore. I mean,
release Manticore.
I don't know if Manticore if Manticore also was full of pumpkin spice.
I'm just gonna do it, bro. I'm just gonna do it. He's been abusive, okay? He's just been fucking not cool, and I'm gonna knock his fucking neck out.
Do you remember the pictures after that? They like had interviews with them, and he was fucked up.
Oh yeah,
he was fucked up.
Oh yeah. Well, so while en route to the hospital, Horn stated, "Quote: Manticore is a great cat. Make sure no harm comes to Manticore."
After this, I believe they make Father of the Pride.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, Cheaper by the Dozen. That's coming soon.
No. Father of the Pride. The CGI Siegfried and Roy animated show that was on NBC about the life of the white tigers.
Of Manticore?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. The season finale must have been real gross.
Manticore made a heel turn no one saw coming. That's like when Hollywood Hogan hit Macho Man with the leg drop. No one saw that shit coming. But yeah, so I think because later he comes out and he's basically trying to claim that, no, Manticore saved me. I was having a stroke. But it's like, no, you had the stroke when he bit your spine, dog. He was trying to basically stop them from euthanizing the cat by making up this whole thing about how it was sexually helping. Yeah,
he was like a big defender of like, it's not the cat's fault.
That's my conspiracy theory, but also you can't slander the dead, so it happened just like that.
No.
He told people in 2004 that Manticore had actually tried to save his life by dragging him to safety after he had a stroke. This seems like bullshit, but it saved Manticore from being shot. This incident, unsurprisingly, canceled their show for good. So that was the last performance of Siegfried and Roy.
I saw the tigers at the Mirage. I never saw the show, but like you could go and see the tigers in a display.
Manticore died.
Alive or stuffed?
I think alive.
No, alive.
Oh, okay.
They would just wander around.
Wander around, doing some coke, saying hey.
Manticore died of old age. They didn't euthanize him, surprisingly. So
wow. Once on one tour, we stopped at a gas station that had a live tiger in it.
Wait, was this in Louisiana?
Yeah.
Tony the Tiger?
Yeah, and then we got
Baton
there,
Rouge.
and it turns out by the time I had been there, he had been stuffed. And I had not laughed harder because everybody was real sad in that car except for me. I was just like, he's
You guys
dead
could have gone to
now.
any number of gas stations with albino alligators.
That's true. I wasn't driving. They don't let me drive. I just sleep like a princess in the back.
October 4th, Kenan Thompson makes his first appearance as a cast member on Saturday Night Live.
2003?
He beat out Kel Mitchell for the role. That's the craziest thing ever.
He's like, I'll get you a good burger in 20 years.
He had to beat his other partner.
That's the last level of comedy. Well, you must kill your best friend.
Well, that's also how fucked up Saturday Night Live is. It's like there can only be one. It's like both of them are demonstrably funny. They've both made money.
They work great together.
They work great together.
Like, why would you do that?
For the
it's
Good
racist.
Neighbor thing, they did the same thing where they're like, there's 3 of you, but we can only take 2 jobs. And they did like the Joker thing where they broke the pool cue in half.
Yeah.
God, what an evil place to work.
Hey, shout out to the movie People's Joker. Everybody should go see it. Drew's movie. And if you think either UCP or SNL seem to be problematic and or lightly evil, this movie has some thoughts that it would like to share with you.
So Kenan would go on to become the longest serving cast member in SNL history. On October 5th, 2003, Surviving Nugent premieres on VH1.
Fuck, I remember that piece of shit.
I remember. Yeah,
Now,
his own...
Rest in piss, Ted Nugent.
Yeah, he's still around.
He's
I know,
still around.
but he should be
shows up.
fucking buried in piss.
He's about to go on tour with Kid Rock, not fully canceled, 2024 or whatever.
Man.
But yeah, so we mentioned this show on one of the very first episodes of this podcast. I've been obsessed with Surviving Nugent. It's only 2 seasons. There's Surviving Nugent and Surviving Nugent Season 2, The Ted Commandments. And
our mutual bestie Jared loves Ted Nugent songs, by the way.
Yeah.
I heard a lot
enjoys
about
the Motor City Madman.
I mean, Stranglehold is fucking dope. I mean, the guy's an
Henry
asshole.
Rollins has a great couple of bits about Ted Nugent. One of them just being about how, like, as a youth, you see him and he's the greatest thing in the world, and now he's sort of an asshole who sucks.
Oh yeah, well, and his oh man, you gotta look into his son Rocco. Is hilarious. He's
Wait,
also
what?
a musician.
Really?
Yeah, I'll put that up as a clip on our YouTube because we talked about Rocco Nugent on the Corona Diaries, but yeah, he's a white rapper, obviously. And
he's the Chet Hanks of that situation.
And he's a vegan as well, because Ted's a big hunter, but Rocco's vegan. He's about that peaceful life.
So is he like politically different than his dad?
No, he's just like the nutty kind of conspiracy guy, where he's like all about aliens and secret space program.
I missed that. I will say, all I remember from the show is just it was an advertisement for buying compound bows.
Yeah, compound bows, and it is also the debut of Tila Wynn, later known as Tila Tequila. Speaking of weird Nazi conspiracy nuts.
And MySpace.
Yeah, and MySpace.
Oh, yeah, because she was in MySpace.
She was the early MySpace gal.
This was her first thing on TV. She was on there just as Tila, and then her nickname was Miss Hollywood.
I thought she was the gal in Wayne's World.
Oh, you think?
What?
Tia Carrera?
I think Tia Carrera is about 20 years older. That's a different person.
Sorry, everybody.
And I'm still like 50% sure in your head you're actually thinking of Asia Carrera.
Okay, let's keep going.
But yeah, Surviving Nugent gives us that. Also, when filming season 2, Ted Nugent sawed through his leg with a chainsaw and needed 40 stitches. So that's good.
What?
Yeah. So the show it took place on his farm, and he had people who were philosophically opposed to him. So it'd be like Jim, the hippie, and Tila, Miss Hollywood, Julie, the vegan. And then they would compete for Ted's graces and money.
I forgot that this was a challenge show.
Oh, it's a challenge show. And my favorite challenge, in season 1, they have a challenge where they make them run across a field, and stuck in the ground are little American flags with $100 bills taped to them. Those are meant to slow you down. You're actually racing for a bigger cash prize on the other side of the field. But if you want, you could pull up money. Here's the deal. Ted Nugent is chasing everybody on a horse with a paintball gun, and if you get hit, then you're out. And so Ted is riding at a full gallop.
You don't think I haven't been hit by a paintball before?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Nugent. I'm getting all them hundreds and the end.
So in the second season, they do the exact same challenge, except now the field is twice as big, and instead of being on a horse, Ted is in a helicopter with a big game net, the kind you shoot hippopotamuses with. So you just see these people running, and Ted just shoot them with a net, and they get wrapped up and just fall to the ground.
They're playing the most dangerous
playing the most dangerous game.
VH1 went crazy and no one noticed.
No, I was there. I was there for all of it.
Oh, I was there for the Big Kahuna Summer.
The Rock of Love. Seasons 1 and 2. Fucking
Flavor of Love.
Flavor of Love. The Surreal Life, which premiered this year.
The Surreal Life.
No, but the Surreal Life was a syndicated show for 2 years before it got picked up.
Right, but there's so much of that shit spun off of it.
Oh, yeah.
Brett Michaels was on it. Flavor Flav was on it.
Insane.
This was just a couple for me personally. On October 7th, Belle and Sebastian released Dear Catastrophe Waitress, my favorite record of theirs. And also, I mean, what are we not going to talk about Macho Man's rap album?
This came out in 2009.
Yeah, that's right.
The kind of thing I thought came out like 93.
Hold on. If you told me that this was a Tom Waits song, I would believe you.
Yes, accurate.
It kind of sounds like that track he does with Cool Keith on NASA.
That's true. Wow.
I'll meet you down by the well.
We missed out.
Right.
Like, Macho Man, we should have been doing some shit with that.
Oh, yeah.
Also, this is is better than I remember.
Oh, he's
kinda
good.
digging this.
He's not
This is better
forced.
than the butt song.
Oh, yeah.
Better than the butt song.
Definitely. Well,
let's not disparage the butt song.
I'm not disparaging at all.
My favorite part of this is he's talking shit to Hollywood Hogan, and he goes, "Meanwhile, I got me a featured role in Spider-Man." So he's bragging about that.
He is Bonesaw.
It's true.
See, rappers love.
He's a pretty good rapper.
He's not bad.
Rappers love pro wrestling. Many of them do.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it goes back in the other direction as much as well.
Yeah.
Is what. And so.
Yeah, hell yeah. What are you talking about?
All right, you're right. This is the greatest song
Absolutely.
I've ever heard. I will not disparage it.
John
in any way.
Cena has a rap album from around this time as well. Yeah.
Go hunt.
I have a theory that John Cena is just Jim Carrey but buff. I think he's been Jim Carrey this whole time. He's just buff.
This is
Buff
now
Gary.
long viral marketing for a new In Living Color.
If you look at his face, they're the same man.
So this day, yeah, we got Belle and Sebastian, we
Here
get the
we go.
Macho Man, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is elected the 38th governor of California.
Jesus Christ, we can't be stopped, California.
Oh, let's talk about this recall election.
We love a celebrity.
So, after several legal and procedural efforts failed to stop it, California's first ever gubernatorial recall election was held on October 7th, and the results were certified on November 14th, making Davis the first governor recalled in the history of California. So, here's a little bit about Gray Davis. So, he had blocked Prop 187, which essentially banned illegal immigrants from receiving any social care. He signed 2 new gun laws, and of course, the energy crisis of 2000-2001, in which private companies like Enron were able to manipulate the market and cause rolling blackouts and triple energy costs for many people. Davis was a bought and paid for suit for the energy companies, and everyone knew it. There was an indescribable feeling of anger at the neoliberal order, telling them that they weren't actually experiencing the economic hardships they were facing. So Californians looked to a celebrity as a fuck you option. This would never happen again.
I have a theory. Hilarious. This would never happen again. Is no wonder he was like, I have to say this before Anna interrupts me and yells about Proposition 187. But I believe that 187 is a thing that, like, it deeply, as a child, because when did 187 get passed? It was like the 90s when it got passed, right?
Yeah, that's right.
People would, like, adult humans would look at me in front of my mom in a town where there's not a lot of free Roman Mexicans. And would be like, well, those people just need to go back to where they came from.
Yeah.
And I'm like 4th generation, puta. What are you talking about?
Yeah. You're in Califas, bitch. Yeah.
Like, fuck you. Like,
that was before California was really had hit its like, oh, we might have to acknowledge an entire majority population.
Yeah.
It was such a wildly racist time where Latinos were so scapegoated in a state that was fucking Mexico not very long ago.
Right.
And so, like, it was just, I think it's, they always say, like, how California goes the nation. And what's been happening in, like, Trump politics and stuff, they're going to have a whole big old California situation not too long from now.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just like, it was just a wildly racist, fucking weird time to be in this state where they were basically like, oh, your kids can't go to school. And if any of you get sick and you go to a hospital, you die.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up. It's like, who's going to pick your fruits?
Now, I'll say this. Now, we got to get rid of this Gray Davis. Now, Rivers Langley, can you tell us some of our available gubernatorial candidates?
Well, so obviously the most famous is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he was kind of running about the energy thing. That was the biggest thing, was this, bullshit. But in reality, Arnold Schwarzenegger and former LA Mayor Richard Riordan had met with Enron CEO Kenneth Lay back in 2001. The meeting was convened to strategize against Davis and Lieutenant Governor Bustamante for Enron to present the new GOP hotshots with his comprehensive solution for California, which asked for more deregulations as well as calling for an end to federal and state investigations into Enron's role in California's energy crisis, as Governor Schwarzenegger pushed to further deregulate California's electricity markets.
If Dave Anthony popped out of one of these curtains right now and it became a dollop episode, I would never stop laughing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's...
Well, sometimes my words do become dollop episodes. Check them out, folks. Hey! It happens from time to time.
But yeah, he's also married to a Kennedy.
At the time, he's married to Maria Shriver.
He's married to Maria Shriver. He's married to a Kennedy.
But it's just like classic thing where it's, this conservative guy who's presenting himself as some sort of alternative. It's like, no, you guys both suck. You guys both deeply suck, but one of them's just out in the open with it.
Jack Grisham was almost governor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
what?
Okay. Wait. Do you have the list?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I'm just excited.
Who are you talking to? Of course, I've got the list.
I can't remember who I voted for.
You don't remember Trek Thunder Kelly?
Yeah,
I imagine might have been your vote.
So
probably.
So other possible celebrity fuck you options during the recall: Gary Coleman finished 8th overall with 16,000 votes.
That is actually who I voted for.
Porn star Mary Carey.
Remember that?
Okay.
Larry Flint also ran, and then my absolute favorite, Gallagher, came in 16th with 2,536 votes.
Never will politics be as fun again as it was that year.
Also a bunch of weird doctors in the Deep West Valley also ran.
As did, again, Jack Grisham from the band TSOL ran.
Wow.
What is this band?
Oh, and they
you don't know about TSOL?
What does that stand for?
True Sons of Liberty.
No,
and then
it
also
sounds like a militia
Trek
band.
Thunder Kelly was a libertarian candidate who would wear like a leather cowboy hat and wanted to make prostitution and heroin legal in California.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sorry, Jack. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Jack.
No, I just remember because I
didn't.
It was a
vote for
whole
you.
crazy thing. Again, I truly I will never forget that newspaper where it just had everybody's fucking headshot ready to go. And I believe they even did the doctors as a and the rest.
I feel like you would like TSOL. Maybe.
No.
You don't think you would like
Not
it?
even a little.
Just based on the name, no.
Really?
He's not a punk man.
Oh.
Unless it's got melody. I don't know.
Okay.
I like
they're later goth
I like
music's
the
fun.
Ramones. I like the Clash.
That's the first episode of 12 Questions. This was Jack Grisham.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. But yeah, Schwarzenegger wins. Sworn in on November 17th. October 10th, a rare L from the Coen brothers. Intolerable Cruelty is released. A gigantic W, however, for Quentin Tarantino. Kill Bill Volume fucking 1 comes out.
Pretty good movie. I hear there's a sword fight in it. I went in Japan when I was there, and Mike and Julia and I ate at the restaurant.
Oh, the House of Blue Leaves.
Yep.
Fuck yes.
It's my favorite Tarantino run.
It's so good.
I like that and Four Rooms. I like Kill Bill's and
Yeah.
Four Rooms. And that's weird. Those are my favorites.
So we saw this obviously opening night. Super hyped.
Okay.
For Volume 2, when that came out in 2004, we were going to go see it right after school. And so, me and my friends wrote the words "Kill Bill" on white T-shirts and wore them to school.
No.
And they made us turn them inside out.
Yeah.
Because they were like, "Who's Bill?" And we're like, "It's a movie from the auteur director Quentin Tarantino, Miss Glasscock."
Turn it inside out.
That's out. You can't
Looks
be called.
satanic to me.
I don't know who you're threatening, but you can't threaten people like that.
There are at least 7 Bills in this building.
Yeah,
right
there's
now.
no one even named Bill. Everybody at this point is William.
I do have to say Kill Bill Volume 2 is a masterpiece because it's it's not even secretly, it's a movie about motherhood.
Yeah, it rules.
It
Yeah.
makes all these action fucking Tarantino fans whoa! They show up and they have to watch a woman process missing most of her childhood due to a man.
Well, also, it's it was supposed to be one big movie. So if you're
I've
thinking
never
of it
seen
like
the
that,
whole bloody affair. I've always meant to sort of sit down and do the 4-hour cut.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
Is it out? Now I'm thinking, is that the reason I haven't seen it? Maybe I'm not lazy.
I don't know.
I have a rule against movies over 2 hours.
Man, you can't see anything now.
Dr. Sleep.
Damn it. So, same day, facing an investigation surrounding allegations of illegal drug use, American right-wing radio host Rush Limbaugh publicly admits that he is addicted to prescription painkillers and will seek treatment. He soon took a 5-week leave from his radio show. In 2006, he was busted leaving sex tourism hotspot Dominican Republic with a shit ton of Viagra. Since you can't slander the dead, I will say definitively that he was there to fuck children.
Yeah, fuck him to death. He's terrible. My pediatric dentist used to listen to him while he drilled my teeth.
Oh, that as if it can't get any worse.
I
Drilling
know.
teeth. God.
I know.
Wow.
I know. That was a real thing that happened. I've been in therapy a long time.
The next day, American Pie star Allison Hannigan weds Angel's Alexis Denisoff in Palm Springs, California. She now has a ring on her finger and a flute in her pussy. Folks!
Look at you! You wrote a joke. In there. You're so
it
good.
was 3:30 in the morning, and I was crawling across the finish line of about 25 pages of this shit.
You work so hard for this, and then we come in here and just interrupt.
No, that's what it's for.
That's my job. I will not have you disparage.
That's what it's for. October 14th, Steve Bartman deflects a ball away from Chicago Cubs outfielder Moises Alou. Cubs give up 8 runs in the inning and lose to the Marlins. And the Bartman incident is seen as the turning point in the series. And the MLB championship team, Florida Marlins, beat the Chicago Cubs 4-3. So this is the poor son of a bitch who reaches up to grab the ball, and the guy's going to catch it, and he grabs it away from his own team's outfield catcher, which he probably would have caught, except that this guy grabs it. And Chicago, they did that guy dirty as fuck.
I remember.
Dude. Yeah,
This is the most Chicago Cubs thing that could have happened.
Yeah,
too.
I kind of love the city of Chicago for this.
Yeah, they tortured a man.
Fuck him.
Yeah,
fuck his stupid fucking catching ball face.
A lifelong
get out of
Chicago
the city.
fan. Yeah,
if you were a real fan, you'd have let the ball go.
Right. You would have let that guy catch the damn ball.
You're a dead man. Leave the city.
As a person who has been
banishment,
I've been victim of my own enthusiasm. I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, I got it. Oh no!
But also, you know how to flee a city.
I do. I would get the fuck out. I'd be like, well, I guess I live anywhere else now.
Sorry, Stockton.
Sorry, Stockton. So Stockton went bankrupt.
Oh, yeah. October 15th, Mystic River is released. The unspeakable sadness genre is in full effect for the fall. October 21st, just a personal one. The Unicorns release Who Will Cut Our Hair When We're Gone.
Another fucking classic. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is.
I don't know. You might know Jelly Bones. If you know anything, it might be this.
I was late to this party. I didn't find this album till college.
Yeah, this riff right here. Oh, I was too. My friend Matt Parton got me into this. Matty P.
I'm gonna now listen to this on the ride home.
This is a fucking jam. Absolutely. When it kicks in. I think this is a K oscillator, if I'm not mistaken.
A K oscillator?
Yeah, it's like a little oscillator thing that you can move with a stylus.
I'll show you one on Saturday. I own
one in my brain.
Sam has one.
I want a K oscillator.
They're the most fun thing in the world.
Yeah, when the George Floyd protests broke out, we were doing 3 podcasts a week still, and we were like, well, we got to do content. How do we make this not horrifying? Sam brought in the K oscillator, and we played with that for a little bit.
Nice.
So, but yeah, this is the band. Eventually, they'd break up pretty quickly after this, and the lead guy would form a band called Islands after the Unicorns. But yeah, very, very, very indie
Islands,
rock.
Huh?
Yeah, Islands is the band after the Unicorns. But at any rate, good record. Check it out. Same day, Fred Rerun Barry dies. So from the show What's Happening, and also Elliott Smith somehow manages to stab himself in the heart twice and fall over dead in front of his girlfriend in Echo Park, and dies this day as well.
Are you okay?
Huh?
Are you okay?
That was a rough one. But again, I only discovered Elliott Smith after he died.
Same. I actually, shout out to my friend Dr. Rock. Check out our radio show on our Patreon page. Dr. Rock was the only guy I knew in high school who was like actively into Elliott Smith. And I remember, when he passed away and stuff like that. And
shout out to Molly, the guitar player from my first girlfriend Shane's band, when we were talking on AIM and her talking about how she was sad because her favorite singer-songwriter, Elliott Smith, died. And I was like, I got to go look who up this dead guy is.
October 24th, Walt Disney Concert Hall, new home of the LA Philharmonic Orchestra, designed by Frank Gehry, opens in downtown
Beautiful
LA.
building.
Yeah. The father of the 110.
Yeah, that's right. October 26th, Viva La Bam and Wild Boys premiere on MTV.
On television.
Wow.
Yeah. But I'm going to skip right ahead to November 2nd. 2003. So we mentioned, Chappelle's Show maybe having the best episode 1 of all time.
Yeah.
This is the show I'd put up right up against it, which is
that was gonna be the
fucking
one.
Arrested Development premieres on
Holy
Fox.
shit.
Yeah, it's
one of the strongest pilots that has ever made.
It's so funny.
This is the magic trick, huh?
Illusion, Michael. Trick is something a whore does for money. Or cocaine.
Everything is there out the gate. It's insane how much it's just like put together.
Yeah.
You're in their world immediately.
Except for Buster.
Yeah. Honestly, this is a show that I started watching when it came to DVD. So I had season 1 and season 2 on DVD and watched them over and over and over within a couple of years
So
of this.
That DVD menu, falling asleep, and we're making out to that menu. Is iconic.
It played every day on other stations.
Yes.
I remember seeing Arrested Development like in the afternoon.
G4. They used to play it on G4.
Yes.
Yeah. The Beatles of television, as my friend Jonathan and I refer to Arrested Development.
That's
untouchable.
beautiful.
We pretend the Netflix stuff didn't happen.
I do wonder what would happen if they did a 4th season.
I know, right? What if?
My argument for the Netflix one is
All right, Joe K.
when they get to the kissing diagram
Okay,
of
that's not
like
bad.
why he can't kiss correctly. I had to pause it because I was laughing so hard I thought I was going to die.
I vaguely have a memory of a dream of it once, but I
Because
still won't
Michael
acknowledge it
Cera
happening.
kissing anybody seems like the least sexual thing that's ever happened, and then to like have him, they break it down in such a fucking unhinged way? Okay,
I watched it on my phone on a break at the grilled cheese sandwich store, and so I didn't really take in all the information.
Comedy's really good for your career, guys. It's at the grilled cheese sandwich store.
So the next day we get, I don't know if it's the stupidest song ever, but it really, there's an argument to be made.
I like your pants around your feet.
Yeah, it's Nickelback. Figured you out. Yeah.
I'm about fucking a Canadian.
I
what a start.
Pants around your
It's as if they heard Crazy Bitch from Buck Cherry and were like, but what if we could do that?
I was gonna say, come, my lady, come, my lady.
Oh, my favorite sample line from this song. I love your lack of self-respect while you're passed out on my deck. I love my hands around your neck. And interestingly, 48 hours later, Green River killer Gary Ridgway confessed to 48 murders. He would eventually go on to confess to 71 total.
Is this about him?
I like my hands around your neck. That's pretty Ridgway. Yeah. Yeah, and he was in the Pacific Northwest, and these motherfuckers are from Canada.
Okay,
so.
conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Nickelback is Gary Ridgway.
Well,
as the whole band.
Do you know the actual?
The
let me go update the Wikipedia.
The whole band is Gary Ridgway. It was actually a collection of people.
Do you know
the way they believe the Night Stalker was many people?
Do you know the actual serial killer conspiracy with Nickelback?
No.
So they played one of their first shows allegedly on the hog farm of Canadian serial killer Robert Pickton.
That's what Pickton looks like.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite last podcasts.
Yeah. So supposedly,
so upsetting.
This is going on in the barn next to where people are being eaten by pigs.
That tracks. Pickton was a real piece of shit who only killed sex workers.
Yeah.
One of them got away.
Yeah.
It's a fucked up ass story.
But yeah, so Nickelback's happening. Also, November 7th, we get 2 Christmas classics. Elf and Love Actually are both released.
Oh, wow. Dads will never be the same.
Oh, hell yeah.
And moms. Dads and moms.
Yeah, we got a Grant. We got did Nick Hornby write Love Actually? Yes, he did. Yeah. So we got stuff for everybody. Elf, right. Favreau, The Rise of Favreau, Post Swingers continues.
Love it.
November 9th, Fox cancels Family Guy. And Cartoon Network begins airing reruns of the at the time canceled show during Adult Swim. The immediate success of the show airing on Adult Swim, along with the high DVD sales, would lead Fox to uncancel the show
I was gonna say.
and revive the series in 2005.
I didn't realize the gap was so short.
It's like 2 years. It took over. There was a point in time where the reruns of Family Guy were like on pace with like Letterman, like with network late night.
That's wild.
Yeah, so.
Well, because at late night it reaches its core audience. It reaches like
college kids.
Adult Swim is one of those things where it's crazy it took that long to invent it.
Yeah,
I know.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, you saw Spike TV tried with Stripperella and all
and
of the
they failed.
and Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon.
But the thing, Family Guy, I think, really changed humor for a whole generation of people.
Oh yeah, it's still popular.
I know it's still really popular, and there's like sometimes. There's some stuff I have some fond memories of it, but at the end of the day, I think it also like broke down like the digression joke,
yeah. It's an interesting example of something where it does a fairly good job at executing the type of humor it does, but what it does is an incredibly difficult type of humor to do well, to the point where that thing struggles to do it well consistently. And I find that that's kind of an interesting, weird little angle of the show.
Yeah.
November 11th, Robert Durst is found not guilty on the first-degree murder of his neighbor, Morris Black.
And then he keeps his mouth fucking shut.
He claims that he killed Black in self-defense, but then totally chopped him up and threw him in a bay in some body bags. And that was for, yeah. Oh, wait, no.
Did you guys watch the Jinx Volume 2 Electric Boogaloo?
I haven't watched 2 yet, but
I
I'm
watched
planning
it
on
and
it.
I tweeted it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because it is zany.
Yeah.
It is zany. The first 2 episodes are really zany, and then then you get into the 3rd episode, and you're like, oh yeah, a person died. And but the first 2 episodes are really zany. They're these like twin, like 23-year-old lawyers, and they do an impression because they had to listen to all of his he had to listen to all of his
phone calls, and
all his phone calls, and so he would always call because was like, you're receiving a call from the state penitentiary,
Bob!
And he would go. It would just be like, Bob! and they do in unison. They do their Bob impression, and it's
awesome.
I have a running list of people who can totally get it. If they can find me, I will just drop my pants around my knees and
I like the way that you scream, Bob.
Yeah, those twins can get it. It's that whole. It's a wild. It's so zany, and then it gets serious, and then you realize he died without ever experiencing any real repercussions for his actions.
Oh, yeah.
So fuck that guy. But also the documentary series that all documentary series have been judged by. I judge all docus by saying Jinx burps.
Yeah, oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, the burp. There it is, the burping.
Of course I did it.
On November 14th, we get 2 albums released with 2 singles that I think everybody within our age range can name within about 2 seconds. So here's the first. Tell me if you know the tune.
If you having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son.
I got 99 problems and a bitch ain't one.
So Black Album. Black Album comes out that day. And also... Yeah, and so we're talking like 3 to 4 notes on both of those tunes.
If you can hear Jer from We Are the Union does a cover of this.
Oh, is that right?
It is
that
phenomenal.
That's not the one they played in Fargo, is it?
Maybe.
Might be.
Is it Scott?
It turned into like a funeral dirge for Fargo.
What?
Oh, it rules.
That's
Did you watch the new Fargo?
No.
Oh, John Hamm killing it.
Jinx.
Oh, shit. But yeah, so we get both of those on that day. Also, here's the weirdest thing that I read the whole time I was looking at this. And I don't think this product ever came out. I think it was just a test. But tell me if this sounds strange to you. A Swiss-based underwear maker, Triumph International, announces that they have developed a high-tech bra which claims that it will help women quit smoking thanks to perfumed capsules in the bra that give cigarettes an unpleasant taste and soothe withdrawal symptoms.
The fuck?
So,
nobody told me about this, and I think I was trying to quit smoking at that time.
The company says the capsules contain a lavender scent which has sedative properties.
Is this aromatherapy
I'm
titties?
so torn about this product.
As well as sweet-smelling jasmine that alters the taste of cigarettes. The company said the bra will be treated with a liquid titanium to break down any secondhand cigarette smoke entering the face and titties area.
All right, ladies, if you want to just do this on your own, I want you to go to the dryer sheet section of your local grocery store, grab whatever scent
so much cheaper.
Doesn't give you the meth vibes, and then you shove that right in your sweaty ass titty bra. Honestly, it was 100 degrees in LA today. It's not a bad idea.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, so that's just about the weirdest goddamn thing I've ever heard. And then, of course, on November 18th, we get Blink-182 releases Blink-182 with the song.
On November 18th, I was celebrating a year clean.
Oh, shit. Were you listening to
heard
Blink?
the voice of Tom DeLonge and thought, time to get fucked up
Did you see Angels from Your Nightmares? Were there spiders?
I hate this song so much.
I hate this song because this is when Blink stopped being fun.
I hate this song because Blink made it.
Hell yeah. November 19th.
Oh, man.
Shout out to Whitmer Thomas for building a career off this
hell
song.
yeah.
That's not to say he's not talented and handsome. But the most impressive a bit has ever taken someone.
By the way, Keith, did you wait to say something negative about Blink?
I'm not going to do it for him specifically. Like, if he'd been here, I'd have said something terrible. But I didn't feel like I needed to go later in this year. Blink's going to do that rally for people that think is important, and I don't understand that they were like, they stopped talking about jerking off and said
They're
miss
like,
you sometimes.
Did you know that punk guys can grow up and feel a thing?
And I was like, I'll kill all of you.
Did you know that punk guys can feel a thing?
I just love this this little paragraph here. November 19th, a vodka drinking contest somehow goes wrong in the southwestern city of Volgograd, Russia. Alexander Nakronechny drank 3.5-liter mugs of vodka in quick succession. He then collapsed and immediately died. The contest left 4 other male contestants fighting for their lives at a local hospital.
To be fair, this is how I ended up with alcohol poisoning when I was 14.
Why?
I drank as much Captain Morgan as I could get my hands on, which turns out is a lot.
Yeah. I just love the phrase, a vodka drinking contest somehow goes wrong.
Yeah. I would love to have gotten my mom involved with that because I watched her and her ex-husband kill the an absolute bottle from Costco.
Wow.
Yeah. She could have
a toilet full of tonic water.
Yeah. November.
Actually, it was cranberry juice.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
November 20th, Michael Jackson is arrested on charges of child molestation. The singer faced similar charges in 1993 that were dropped after an out-of-court settlement.
You mean he did it again?
Oops.
This is the ramble that I did before that, you should remember as well that Michael Jackson was a child molesting ghoul for most of our lives, and then he died and we seem to have forgotten. And then a documentary came out. I was like, remember, are you guys aware of this thing that everyone made jokes about every day for 20 years?
Oh,
I know. It's
so
weird.
the CBS CBS network chose not to show his November 26th 1 hour special intended to promote his greatest hits album, and he is eventually acquitted, and he danced on top of a car. November 22nd.
He danced on top of a car.
He did.
This is where the
And
Man
he
in the
danced.
Mirror movie ends.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
November 22nd, the 68th Iron Bowl. Auburn beats Alabama 28-23. Fuck you, Joe. Fuck you, Carter. At Jordan Hare Stadium, the Auburn Tigers are led to victory by no coach. Definitely not an illiterate United States Senator named Tommy Tuberville. The guy wasn't there. The team just fucking won the game amazingly with no coach.
Is there a movie about that?
No.
Are you going to write a movie about that?
No, I'm just kidding.
He's being,
I'm being sarcastic.
Sort of like how there are later seasons of Arrested Development, but we were not acknowledging them.
So Tommy Tuberville is the worst senator we have, and he used to be our football coach.
And he's an American senator.
He's an American senator.
They're famously the worst Americans.
Yeah. So the same day, Carmen Electra marries Dave Navarro at the St. Regis Hotel in L.A. They would go on to monetize their relationship the next year by having an awful reality show called Till Death Do Us Part, Carmen and Dave, before divorcing 4 years later.
I got stuck in a
well
party
written.
once because everyone was hanging out with Dave Navarro.
My
Is he
favorite.
short?
Not as much as you want to be. I'm going to be honest. He was handsome and fun looking, but I wanted to go home and not be in Laurel Canyon anymore.
That's so funny.
November 26th. I think this might be my personal favorite Christmas movie. Bad Santa is released with Billy Bob Thornton, which
It's a great
the
movie.
darkest ending ever. And I love that they put in a voiceover to make it so he wasn't just absolutely murked by the cops at the end.
Have you seen the second one?
No, I haven't. Is that good?
It's no, but Jenny Zagrino's in it.
Oh, okay.
So it's worth seeing.
Okay.
She's a delight.
December 2nd, 2003, Alicia Keys releases The Diary of Alicia Keys. And of course, were you in a department store in 2003, 2004? Oh, do you smell the perfume counter when this song plays?
I'm going to do one better for you.
Uh-huh.
I currently work with folks who have disabilities during the day, and one of my guys loves music. He likes music that is loud. That's the specific thing. He's a huge fan, but like Mariah Carey and all these different things.
People can
He
sing really
loves
high.
Alicia Keys.
Hell yeah.
And could not carry a tune in a bucket if he tried.
Oh no.
And so this will come on and it'll be like in the van. It's hot. It's one of my favorite things. I just sing along with him like he's doing great.
As a Goods from the Woods fan, I feel I would be remiss to not lean forward and do a little Bob Dylan and go, Alicia Keys.
I've been thinking about Alicia Keys.
Is that what?
Bob Dylan has a song with Alicia Keys. Where he says,
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Don't misstate.
Okay.
Alicia Keys is not involved at all.
Oh, I forgot.
No,
that.
Bob Dylan gave an interview to Rolling Stone magazine, and his quote was, they were asking what singers you like now, and he goes, Alicia Keys. There's nothing about that girl I don't like. And so in this song, that's called...
finding out that Bob Dylan's rubbed one out.
Oh, it gets so much worse. In the song Thunder on the Mountain, which is a pretty good blues song, then for no reason in the middle of the song, he just goes, I've been thinking about Alicia Keys.
I'm wondering where in the world Alicia Keys could be. I've been looking for her even clear through Tennessee.
And then just keeps going with the song, and you're like, blah, 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 what?
It's fucking crazy.
Wait, did they bone?
No, he's just a creep. He's an old creep, and he loves the sound of her voice, and he loves her look. And Bob Dylan's sitting up there in fucking Malibu, just being like, Alicia Keys. Ooh, I've been thinking about Alicia Keys. I managed to tranquilize Alicia Keys' guards. I'm sneaking around the house. I'm hiding in a shift robe.
Okay, hear me out, guys. If I ever finally flip my Honda Fit doing a road gig where I get paid $100 and I end up in a coma, I need you to come to the hospital, Rivers, and go,
Alicia Keys. I've been thinking about Alicia Keys.
And then I'll just wake up and I'll be like, what, Rivers, you're here? I've been thinking about Alicia Keys.
Yeah, you were in a bad car accident. You know what you need is to think about Alicia Keys.
Alicia Keys. I will think that hits me in a spot where we was around this time. My stepbrother and I he was outside smoking a bowl or whatever, and the neighbor yells, "Bullshit! You was with Chris." And I can call him right now and go, "Bullshit! You was with Chris." And that feels the same to me. That feels the same. Like, I've been thinking about Alicia Keys.
I've been thinking about Alicia Keys.
I've been thinking about Alicia Keys. Maybe Alicia Keys won this anyway.
I fed sleeping pills to Alicia Keys guard dogs. the Alicia Keys' puppies will be out sleep for at least an hour.
Are we gonna write a sketch where Bob
Dylan's
Dylan
breaking in
slowly
to Alicia Keys' New York apartment? I've been thinking about, and it's just him saying, "I've been thinking about Alicia Keys and coming out of trash cans."
I put some embalming fluid on a cigarette that I gave to the door guy.
I've been thinking about Alicia Keys.
I've been thinking about Alicia Keys. Let's hear it from me, Bob. I'm the Bob Dylan you were made for. I broke into your house.
It feels like a sketch from fucking Kids in the Hall. I've been thinking about Alicia Keys.
It's such a weird thing.
Oh my God.
10 years ago, folks, we've been doing that bit. Oh my God.
Damn.
Shit. Got a couple more things here. December 5th, 2003. A banner day for white people. Coldplay lead vocalist Chris Martin marries Gwyneth Paltrow at San Isidro Ranch in Montecito, California.
Everybody was so mad. Everybody was so mad. White people who like Coldplay were mad about it. White people who like Gwyneth Paltrow were mad about
They
it.
named their kids Apple and Moses.
And then they were the punchline for a million late night jokes.
And then they consciously uncoupled instead of getting divorced. So they've been annoying for a long time. This is really crazy that this movie exists. The Last Samurai is released, where Tom Cruise teaches samurais how to fight.
I saw it in the theater.
I would be remiss to not bring up a very lame former internet edgelord Maddox.
Oh, hell yeah.
Write an article about this where he did pitch the idea of the Julia Roberts film, The Last Fucking Inuit. And I do think about that joke to this day.
That movie sucked so hard, and it's just pure audacity from start to finish. It's pure audacity from start to finish.
It was weird because I saw it at some point.
It's visually pretty.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it's any good. Is it
No,
good? It's like
I don't think
it's
so.
good in the way that like most Tom Cruise movies of that era
It's
were
like shitty
fine.
Oscar bait that sort of doesn't work anymore at that time. It's like a type of movie that is having its swan song.
Yeah.
It was bad.
December 9th, we got one last jam on the fucking thing here.
This is then going to allow me to say my favorite word in a minute here.
Oh, yeah. What is that?
So I went to Denny's years ago. And they had a tie-in menu, and this band had a very
Episode
special
1
item.
of this podcast, we mentioned this. Hell yeah, say it.
Hooperito, baby.
Hooperito.
I ate Hooperitos all fucking summer goddamn long.
This is Hoobastank with The Reason.
Another California-based classic band.
Orange County, I think.
The reason to
This might be the worst song of the year. Like, they waited until the last day of the year.
I know, right?
And released truly one of the most wretched songs ever made by white people.
This is a very bad song.
This is a curse.
I just think this is a very bad song.
This popped up at our trivia game, and I was very proudly wrote down Hoobastank, The Reason.
If I close my eyes, I am in a CVS.
Yeah.
That is.
So, 3 days after this comes out, December 12th, Mick Jagger becomes Sir Mick Jagger in the ceremony. And then December 13th, Saddam Hussein is captured in Iraq. The reason was him all along, but turns out the reason wasn't him. The reason was make Dick Cheney
in his
fucking richer.
They found him in his little hole.
In his spider hole.
He was in a little hole.
Yeah. They called it a spider hole.
For spiders.
Yep.
I wonder how many spiders were actually in it.
Well, there was not just spiders. There was spiders.
To be fair, they actually checked the hole for spiders initially, and there were no spiders inside.
So...
wouldn't have gone in without somebody squeaking it.
If we hadn't been told about all the spiders, we wouldn't have been able to pull Saddam Hussein out.
So, December 17th, Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King is released. It would go on to become the highest grossing film of the year and win the Oscar for Best Picture in 2004.
Is that the second or the third one?
That's the last one.
Third, okay.
December 20th, during an NFL game between the New England Patriots and the New York Jets, former Jets quarterback Joe Namath, in a sideline interview with ESPN's Susie Colbert, twice stated that he wanted to kiss her. And he couldn't care less about the team struggle-lugga-luggalin.
Here's the
He
deal.
wanted to kiss
He
her.
had brain damage.
Namath later apologized and blamed the incident on his obvious intoxication. Soon after, Namath entered an outpatient alcohol treatment program, and he chronicled this episode, including his battle with alcoholism, in the book Namath. And
Wow.
what college did he play for? Anybody?
Do you have any clips of this interview of him being hella
was
drunk?
it a Southern school?
It was Alabama. That's right. Yeah, that's what they're all like in Tuscaloosa. This fucking drunken, woman grabbing wino piece of shit.
I
Fuck
wanna
off.
kiss
I saw the
you.
assistant was like, we got to get this.
Yeah.
we got to
kiss you.
fucking show Wes and Carter what's
Yeah,
for.
fuck you, Wes. Fuck you, Carter. Fuck you, Joe. December
I always forget
25th.
to say fuck Joe on that. Carter
he's
slid right in, and he shouldn't have because Joe is the one who will take the most offense.
Oh,
to it.
yeah. Carter barely cares. Christmas got Cheaper by the Dozen, Cold Mountain, Paycheck, Monster, and my personal favorite Tim Burton film, Big Fish.
What a kind of trash
Big-
list that is.
Oh, Big
Fish?
Fish is so good.
Big Fish is the first movie where I felt seen because I come from a long line of whose man's is this people.
Oh, yeah.
Like where you're like, ah man, this fool full of shit. Both sides have real whose man's is this energy. And that movie really hit me hard because I was literally, when I describe people, they'll be like, describe your mom. And I'll be like, well, what if Big Fish was a lady?
So that was filmed in Wetumpka, Alabama. And a bunch of the extras were people from my high school in that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
and
thank you for your service.
And also, Danny DeVito name checks my hometown.
Her name is Sandra Templeton. She goes to Auburn. Semester's almost over, so you better hurry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good luck, kid. Thank you, sir.
Big Fish is fucking great. And now we've arrived back where we started this whole crazy thing. Times Square, New York City, baby.
Ooh,
Start.
I can feel the chill.
Spread in the news.
I'm so excited for 2004.
December 31st. Dick Clark, Nick Lachey, and Jessica Simpson host. This is the final episode to be recorded before Dick Clark suffered his stroke. Due to this stroke, Regis Philbin hosted the next episode. This one featured Three Doors Down, Hall & Oates, Donna Summer, Lil Jon and the Yin Yang Twins, and Jason Mraz. I'm like, what a weird sandwich of like dog
Little
shit
John?
plus great. That
Could
is.
you imagine Little John?
I'll remind you that I've met Little John on numerous occasions.
What's he like?
An absolute delight. One of the smartest, most articulate, like genuinely delightful humans I've ever met. A class act all the way, incredibly like savvy on stuff, does not take himself seriously, knows all about what people are saying. I listened to him once tell somebody about how much money he makes off the DJing gigs in Vegas, and he's like, honestly, literally, I'm walking out there, I'm pushing play, I'm saying yeah, like what am I? Like it was such an amazing. I'm like, this guy is the most brilliant human. He's amazing.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
incredible.
You gotta get him on.
He's
you gotta get him on.
like a skateboard guy too.
Oh yeah, the dude has killer taste and stuff. Like he's cool. He's a fucking crazy good like music. Like knows good shit.
Okay.
Like
oh yeah,
Little John's great. I need him to not get canceled because I'm very pro Little John.
Yeah, we're about a bunch of, especially Jay-Z, we're about to see some things come out after the P. Diddy stuff. We're going to lose a lot of these characters in this this story arc.
Come on, backpack rappers hold together.
Yeah, they're going to be fine.
So over on MTV, we've got Damien taking over for Carson Daly, boo, who's now fully committed to Last Call with Carson Daly. And I found out that when Conan was moving from the late night show to the Tonight Show, for some reason, Carson met with NBC and was like, I am interested in this job. And you're like, guy, no, you're all, buddy.
He's not.
I don't care for Jimmy Fallon, but he's 1 million times more qualified than Carson fuck Daly to take over that show.
Bad.
I don't know. But anyway, out on the street, Clay Aiken is performing his weird song that came out in September called Invisible. The lyrics read like a deranged spree killer's manifesto. Quote, if I was invisible, then I could just watch you in your room.
Didn't he get canceled for something?
No, he ran for Senate and lost.
He got canceled by the law.
No, he came out of the closet. He lives in North Carolina. He's a good guy, but this song is creepy.
Okay.
If I was invisible, I could just watch you in your room. If I was invisible, I'd make you mine tonight. If hearts were unbreakable, then I could just tell you where I stand. I would be the smartest man if I was invisible. Oh, wait. I already am.
Every breath.
I was about to say, man is the most dangerous game of all. To kill something is the most thrilling experience. It's even better than getting your rocks off with a girl. So, anyway.
That's from the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah. So, that is how we end 2003. Anna Valenzuela, where can people find you,
You can
on
find
the internet?
me at Anna V is Funny on all the platforms. And then you can find me at my website, annavalenzuela.com. And eventually I am going to release an album, I swear to God.
Hell yeah. On what record label, Kyle?
Burn This Record.
Oh, is that right? Oh, you're just producing
this is a joint
it, right?
production. Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
joint production. We kept it
I'm
the
actually the mix for this record that I'm working on with her for this. I was actually not originally going to do, so I just keep getting more involved.
Oh, I just assume.
It's slowly
And if
becoming
there's
more and
if
more
I
Radland.
can just put my horrible tendrils into every independent comedy label and just sort of make myself sort of ever present in a way,
Yeah.
that's the real dream.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so yes, Murder Puss recorded the Comedy Fort. This lady fucking throws down.
This guy we
had fun. We got to scary Laurie Kilmartin, as you've heard.
We scared Laurie Kilmartin. We managed to pull off what should have been impossible, which should have been canceled thousands of times. I should have canceled
God
it
tried to
1,000 times.
stop Anna from making a comedy album and comedy special, and boy howdy, did with the powers of darkness we defeat God.
We defeated God. We laughed in the face of God. Yeah.
So go. Murder Puss will be out later this year.
Yep.
Where can they find you online, Kyle?
I'm at Instagram at Kyle Clark is Rad, where I post shows and artwork. I should have more of both at some point, and not just in the future.
Yep.
I am, currently in the midst of working on a bunch of projects, so I haven't been out as much. But if you want to hear what I'm up to, you can go to listen to This Is Rad, which is a podcast I do with Matthew Burnside, where we talk about stuff. And also a show called Everything is Scary I do with Amy Drolet that's about horror. And as I always say, it's just a couple of gals gabbing about the horror lifestyle.
And I have to say, honestly, it was one of the research things that I did was listen to Everything Scary when I wrote when I went back to community college and wrote a movie and stuff, and I wrote a horror movie, and I like horror, but I'm not a horror nerd.
I call it my secret podcast. The audience that has found it really enjoys it. It's a fun show, so check that out. I also have radland-records.com where you can get all of the records I've put out through my label, including mine, Absolute Terror, or the one that I didn't put out through me because it happened too early, but is Kyle Clark's I'm a Person, and you can get both of those anywhere where you get records.
I have a CD copy of I'm a Person.
Wild.
Well, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rivers Langley. And the best way to support the show, hey, if you're watching it, you're already doing it. Patreon.com/TheGoodsPod. Buy a shirt, ProWrestlingTees.com/TheGoodsPod. It'll make you look skinny on TV. The second best way to support this show, head to Apple Podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Show the attitude of gratitude, because if you do not have the attitude of gratitude, Daddy, we're going to make you watch the adult party cartoon. The Goods from the Woods was recorded and edited by me, Rivers Langley. You can find our show on Twitter at The Goods Pod. Our theme song was composed by Jonas, the Space Cowboy.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.